At Raising Cane's, we're all about quality, and that includes our lemonade. We hand-cut lemons daily. They're fresh squeezed and mixed with natural cane sugar, served over our crushed ice. And why do we do all this? Because it makes a difference. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Hi, I'm stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Erin Cline.
And this is
Not Your Demographic,
a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, those exist. I almost just spit beer all over the mic.
That would have been probably pretty bad.
Yeah, this is an expensive microphone.
Hi! Hello, Demmies. It's funny today that somebody on Twitter was like, Demmies, demographic. Oh.
I know, I laughed really hard at that. I was like,
To be fair, we waffled back and forth. We were like, we're saying whatever. Fuck
it's
it.
fluid. It's fine.
Demmies is fluid.
Yes.
Well, that's the title of this episode already.
Most of the time, you have to wait till hour 2 to hear the title.
Yeah, right?
How are you?
I'm okay.
Oh.
I had like a weird day. Like nothing bad happened. It's like a homework assignment. Like there's some things I really have to do and the deadline is quickly approaching and I like just cannot.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm also working my grad school application and like I just want to ram my head through a wall. It's like I know where I need to go and I can't even like I've written so many different paragraphs and just have deleted all of them.
Oh. I mean, I'll read through it if you want to write something and just be like
hard, but I can't even
anything.
do that. I'm like I've written half of it and the half.
Just stop. Next time you want to delete it, just stop and send it to me and I'll give you notes.
But if I know that the note is I want to delete it.
You'll never keep anything like that then.
I got 2 solid paragraphs.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah, sure. I feel that. I feel like a looming pressure of like I have things that I need to do that should have been done by June 1st and like one I barely started and one I haven't started. And I'm like, do I have to spend my whole Memorial Day like doing stuff when all I want to do is play Injustice and like eat shitty food and sit on my butt? Yes, I'm probably going to have to work on Memorial Day.
That's why you set a schedule. Do stuff for an hour and then make yourself stop after an hour.
That's a good idea.
That's how I do stuff when I really have to get through it. Like, work for an hour or 90 minutes and then give myself 30 minutes to just relax and, like, decompress, smoke a bowl in my case, and then
I'm not
go back.
Do that.
Yes, I know. And drink a spritzer. I don't know. Whatever it is that you do. And then...
spritzer.
And then go work for, like, another hour, then give yourself, like, 20 minutes, then, like, schedule that time in. That's how I do all of my homework on the weekends every week.
That's smart.
Yep. It's after, like... a million years of college, I finally
also,
figured it out.
I'm also a dummy, and I picked up a burlesque show in Madison. So I have to drive to Madison on Saturday.
Why did you do that?
Because it seems like fun.
Oh my god, you're the worst.
Well,
I hate everything.
I know. I haven't been taking...
I think I'm a show in Madison.
I haven't been taking a lot of gigs, and this gig actually seemed like fun.
That's fair. That's true. You do need something to, like, reignite your spark for your love for burlesque. So I understand why you would do that. But also, it is hilarious to be
yeah.
I have to do all of this stuff.
I'm terrible. I've definitely, my whole life, been somebody, I mean, you've known me for 10 plus years, that I have something to do every minute of every hour of every day. And then I crash, and I become an asshole for, like, a day. And I'm like, I'm going to sit here and cry and feel depressed.
Yes. Similar.
But
that's
now...
us and Pizzazz. That's why we're all friends, because we do the same thing.
But I've definitely, like, overloaded my plate a little bit, which sucks because there's some things I have in my mind and on the horizon that I'm actually really excited to work on. But it's like, I can't even work on them without getting through this couple of things that I have to do.
Yep. Yeah, I feel that.
So...
you're getting there.
I'm just living every day like it's tomorrow.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I am very close to the end of this quarter. I'm so close. I've got like 2 weeks, and it was weird. I like took a step back on Tuesday. I had a doctor's appointment, and so I had the morning off, and I just like took a step back and I looked at all of my homework, and I was like, I've got this. Like, I'm so close.
So you're the exact opposite of me right
sort
now.
of. It's weird because I have like 2 weeks left, and this is like the most relaxed I've ever felt about my homework schedule in like the entire time I've been back to school. So that's been really nice. And then over the summer I only have 2 classes, so I'm like slowly bringing down my number of classes. And DePaul offered me way more money than I thought they were going to for the summer. So I have like an extra month's rent worth of cushion now, which was like exactly what I needed. I was like, if I just need to take a week off, I can do that, and I don't have to feel like worried about money immediately, which was really nice. So that's been really good. And I went and saw Ricky Gervais last night because we didn't record, even though we normally do on Wednesdays.
I had to go take my clothes off in front of strangers.
Made hilarious faces.
I was just being an asshole last night. I was like, well, I'm dressed up in a Star Trek outfit, and it's
That's
like,
fine.
I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so let's do this.
Let's do this. Yeah, I went to, Michael texted me while I was at work at like 3 in the afternoon, and he was like, do you want to go see Ricky Gervais tonight? And I was like, yes. What? What do you mean by that? Because I have to pass the Chicago Theater on the way to work every day, and so they have his sign up on the marquee that's like the 24th, the 25th, right. Ricky Gervais is here, sold out. And I was like, how did you find tickets? I think they must have just been like, we have these 4 seats that we need to sell. And so we got both of our tickets on the floor in like a really good place for less than $50 for 2 of us. We were insane. We were both like, they just needed to get rid of these tickets, clearly.
Was it fun?
It was super fun. It's his first stand-up tour in 7 years. And like, I don't love his old stand-up, and I don't love everything about him, but I think that he's very interesting, and I love that people hate him so violently. They stopped the bar at 8 o'clock so that people couldn't drink during his show and couldn't get belligerent. They had fucking bomb dogs at like every single entrance. It was walking in, it was like, who are you? That you need bomb dogs at every theater that you go to. Like, that's bananas to me. Because there were dogs and people were like, drug dogs. And I was like, those are not drug dogs.
You're like, I know my drug dogs.
I know what a drug dog looks like, and that is not a drug dog. It is far too calm. Also, it's already sitting down, which means it's not a drug dog. Hi, P.S. Public service announcement. If a drug dog sits next to you, it's because they can smell weed on you. Or drugs. If you have heroin, they can smell that as well. That's when you get worried. So this dog is just like chilling out there, and I was like, that's a bomb dog. That's for sure not a drug dog. So that was bizarre. But it was interesting to see, like, the whole show. Every joke, people would get up and leave. Like,
really?
Every single one. It was just like a constant stream of people, like, not constant, it wasn't like a river down
right, but like at least one person would get up and leave.
Mm-hmm. Or like a couple would get up and leave. The people next to us clearly did not want to be there. It was so bizarre. I was like, why do you pay money to see someone you don't care for? It just blew my mind. But the show was really good because I love the concept of his new show. It's called Humanity, and he has a giant skull of an ape on a podium, which I like the look of his set. It's really cool. But he tells all of these stories, and he talks about, like, I piss people off on Twitter talking about food allergies, and people get really upset with me, and my response is always, like, I make jokes about the Holocaust and Hitler, but, like, food allergies aren't okay, and that line of, like, context really matters with jokes, and if you take the context away, anything can be bad, and if you give the right context to things, almost anything can be funny. And so it was very interesting to watch him go through his set and get to the end of a joke and have people leave and have him be like, context, this is why people get mad at this affects you, so you're pissed about it. Like, you can hear him joke about the Holocaust, but then if he talks about Caitlyn Jenner in the wrong way, I'm bad about this, but not this other thing. And so it was interesting because, like, I don't agree with everything, and I found some of it offensive, but at the end of it, I was like, this is a great show. It's a really good look at what it means to, why do we find things offensive? What is it about one thing over another that means I'm gonna leave this show just because this thing affects me? So I thought that was very interesting. So it was super fun. So it was nice. And also, he didn't talk about Trump at all. The whole show.
That's actually really nice.
It was super nice. It was really, really nice, actually, to get out of the other side of it and be like, I didn't have to think about Donald Trump for a moment. Because right after I got out of that, I read that fucking Giant Fort, whatever the fuck his name is, story, and was just like, what the fuck happened?
Giant Forte, I think his name is.
I came out of that show and was like, how did I miss this exact demographic that I'm a part of on Twitter? I just totally missed it. How do you feel about the body slam? Also, clearly not a body slam. It was obviously a two-handed choke slam.
Yeah, I mean, get it together,
Get
reporters.
it together.
Do some research.
Right?
When our worlds collide, I guess.
We have very specific knowledge.
When politics meets wrestling.
We're here.
We're here for it. I mean, we're not. We don't want wrestlers to run for public office.
Yeah.
Period, hands down, across the board.
Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, I would vote for them. I believe in them. They're wrestlers who have social good in mind.
Yeah.
Drew Gulak, I would vote for that man.
Mike Bennett, I think, is also a libertarian, which I have feelings about.
I do have feelings about that.
But whatever. He does have social good in mind. I still think that, I don't know, people who like actually understand policy should be the people who run. But most people who run for political office don't understand policy.
Yeah.
So like, there's a fantasy world that I live in.
Yes.
What do I think about? I don't think that public officials should put their hands on reporters.
Right? When there's clear audio evidence that the thing that blows my it shouldn't surprise me anymore, honestly, that there are people who are like, good, that makes me want to vote for him more. That's exactly what I want.
Well, it's funny because he like might win, particularly because twofold. Think in context of us, if a Democrat did that, would you go out and vote for the Republican? Probably not. You probably just wouldn't vote.
Yeah, true.
So people are going to abstain from voting. And two, Montana is a state where people are really, really into early voting. Like 2/3 of their votes are already in. Like,
it's weird though because he totally did. They're pressing charges. Like,
oh yeah,
he's for sure gonna get a felony assault for this. So even if he's,
I don't know if it's gonna be felony. So far, it's only a misdemeanor.
Okay, that's the weird thing too. I also love Twitter because I love that you can learn about very specific laws about assault immediately. Like people,
he broke his glasses. He broke his personal property.
Yeah, like it's there,
which Matt Stryker thinks is hilarious.
Oh my god!
Ha ha ha! My glasses broke. I'm gonna come break your fucking glasses.
You Matt Stryker. Fuck that guy.
Man, when I first started watching Lucha, I hadn't watched wrestling in a long time, so I didn't know who Matt Stryker was, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this guy. And then the more I learn and the more I like pay attention, I'm just like, oh, this fucking guy again.
Oh my god! Also. To be very vague and non-specific, we also heard a really hilarious story about Matt Stryker
that we had to cut out of the podcast.
That we cannot share on the podcast.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
I forgot about that. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, anyways, politics is weird.
Politics is super weird. I also just like, Jesse the Body Ventura was the governor of a state and never fucking body slammed anybody. Like, if a real
But he
life...
did run that state and also work for the XFL at the same time.
That's true.
So it's kind of like a similar offense.
Good
like
old-fashioned
body
corruption
slam.
is different.
Body slammed, America. I was going to make another salient point about politics in Montana, and you ruined it because you talked.
I'm sorry. I was talking about a wrestling-related topic. At least I'm trying.
Yeah. Whatever. It made a lot of sense. I'm sure it did.
Politics is very frustrating.
Yeah, but there's good stuff out there. There are people fighting the good fight. Oh, what I was going to say is the CBO score was so bad, was so appalling.
It's so appalling.
The easier option for this person to do instead of saying, I disagree or I agree or I'm going to vote for this, I'm not going to vote for this, was just to body check somebody.
Right?
I'd rather chokeslam you and get a misdemeanor than go on record saying the CBO scored is appalling.
Also, like, the fact that the Fox News station was there and was the first ones to be like, no.
My favorite thing about all this stuff is like the tiny walkbacks that Fox News has to consistently do.
I know, I love it.
Where they're like, well, maybe. Or where Tucker Carlson's like, things might not be how they obviously are.
Right? What about the bathrooms in Penn City Station? Like, they can both be bad.
I'm a big boy, Tucker Carlson. One time my grandpa insulted Tucker Carlson to his face, and I think it's the funniest story.
I love that!
My grandpa just said, Tucker? Ugh, who's named Tucker? And Tucker Carlson was behind him, and he was like, oh, okay.
Good. Fuck you, Tucker Carlson.
Tucker? What wrestling shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing my Johnny Gargano shirt. Oh.
Did you know about the turn? I didn't hear about that.
No!
Well, apparently some singer was like, I'm writing the new Johnny Gargano song. So a bunch of people were like, great, we're going to get a turn tonight.
No, I had no idea.
I didn't know that either.
I had no idea. And once it happened, I was like, okay. So we got to the end of that match, and they were in the ring, and they started playing their music, and I knew right then. It hit me. I watched Tommaso lean over and hug Johnny.
But he didn't turn on him until they were like all the way up the ramp.
He hugged him in the ring, and he said something to him, and it wasn't Johnny saying anything back like, we did this, we made it through this. And I was like, oh, they're not moving up. He's about to fucking turn on him. I just knew in my soul, and I started freaking out. I was watching it with Nicole and Michael, and I was like,
were you watching it live?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was like, oh my God.
Me too.
I know you were there. I'm sorry, I have to pay for my honeymoon. So lame. So we're sitting there watching it, and I just start panicking. I was just like, oh no, don't do it. And Nicole's like, what the fuck are you talking about? They just have this
like cold sweats.
Right? She's
You're like, the credits have already shown up.
Yeah, that's what she was like, isn't it over? And Michael was like, Erin's worried that he's gonna turn on Johnny. I was like, it's gonna happen.
It's like, Michael, we're allowed to care about things.
I know, right? Because he thought it wasn't gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
And so
remember when last year at Money in the Bank where he yelled at us for yelling?
Yes, I do remember that very
We did jump up and down on the
and
couch.
Scream very loudly. That's true. I've been yelled at many times for that. But they get out of the ring and they're going up, and I'm still like cold sweats, panicking, like, it's happening. I know it's happening. It's coming. I can feel it in my bones. And Michael was like, are you not gonna calm down until they get to the backstage area? And I was like, yes, it can happen at any moment. He can. Boom! Turns on him, and I just started sobbing. Straight up.
You cried?
Full sob. Full sob. I was freaking out. I threw like a 2-year-old temper tantrum. I was so upset because I knew it, and then when it happened, I was like, how could you do this? And he was clutching at him and trying
to like dumbfounded, like, my friend,
why? Oh my God, I was freaking out. And then Nicole started to freak out. She was like, how the fuck did you know that was gonna happen?
You're like, listen, bitch.
Right? I've watched a lot of wrestling. It was so sad. It was very sad. So I'm wearing this wrestling shirt. What wrestling shirt are you wearing?
I'm not wearing a wrestling shirt, but I am wearing a PBS shirt. I've been having a lot of emotions about PBS lately.
Oh, okay.
Well, look.
Oh, that's a nice shirt.
Yeah.
I like it. It looks really nice on you.
Thank you. I love this shirt. You know, we all have a connection to PBS, but like my grandpa worked for WKR, which is the local PBS station. I literally grew up in a PBS building. I worked all the kids' auctions from the time that I was literally a baby. I was like a baby holding a thing that was like on auction up until I was like 18 and like in charge of things, like with my, you know, captain's ponytail or whatever.
I tightened your ponytail right now.
Yes, well, captain's ponytail, if anybody from Plan 9 listens, they're going to be like, oh, reference. Whatever.
I'm going to crack this. Hold on.
What?
It's a La Croix. Don't worry. It's
La Croix. But like with all the budget stuff and the projected like cuts to public broadcasting, it just like makes me really upset. And whenever I think about it, I like full breakdown and cry, which I'm like thinking about it right now, which just sounds so corny, but it's like so important. And yesterday was like the 50th anniversary of Mr. Rogers. And so I was reading a bunch of stuff about Mr. Rogers, and I was just like sobbing every time I read something.
Did you read that thread about the guy who met him in the elevator? Oh my God, I was full crying. It was bad.
I never even was like super into Mr. Rogers, but I watched it.
But I get why people love it.
But I like literally own every single episode of Wishbone on DVD and VHS. Like, I had a Wishbone comforter. That's fucked up to me.
I know.
That's how I found out about like Moliere and Don Quixote and the Imaginary Invalid episode of Wishbone is like a piece of fucking art. It's so good.
Fair.
But like, I dressed up as Juliet for Halloween, and I dressed up my Wishbone doll as Romeo. Like, I was full in on Wishbone. But I also I watched it all. I met Cookie Monster when I was like 2. Like, but it's also important, like, kids, especially in a modern age, learn from television and like to have television that is actually educational and
inclusive.
Sesame Street is like insanely inclusive.
Yes,
and like, I don't know. Everyone knows why public broadcasting is important. Also, like, they're not just kids stuff. Like the documentaries that they do and the like news that they do. Like Gwenny Fowl was like amazing, and she died last year, like, which was really sad. But like, she was an amazing reporter, and it was really important because she was, you know, a Black woman reporter. Like, it's just public broad, and everyone's like, oh, liberal this, liberal that. I don't know why it's liberal to just like want to take care of people. But it is liberal.
It is. It's
But,
a
like,
liberal value.
It's a liberal value, I know. No Ayn Rand bullshit here.
Fuck Ayn Rand.
Honestly,
fuck that
Ayn
bitch who
Rand.
died in public housing on welfare. Fuck that bitch. She taught all of these Republicans that fuck the poor, and then she died on social assistance. Like, that cunt. She's the worst.
That cunt. She's the worst. I didn't know that about her.
Really?
Super crime.
Oh, yeah. He ended her life in public housing on food assistance. Because that's how life
Did she
happens.
ever, like, come out and be like, maybe I was wrong?
No, never.
She was like, I deserve this.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, at least she stuck to her guns, you know
Right,
what?
that's true. She
At
was
least
true to her own.
double down.
Right, exactly.
When in doubt, just double down. Anyways, I'm wearing my PBS shirt.
Okay. It looks
Because I
very
started
nice.
crying a lot yesterday about PBS.
That's... I think I'll probably make that.
Also, like, how have you never seen a full Wishbone episode?
I don't know. I just didn't
Bitch,
grow up on
The
that.
Sleepy Hollow episode's great. The Silas Marner episode is really good.
I grew up
I
on...
learned about Silas Marner as a child from Wishbone.
Listen.
Have I finished that book? No, it is very boring.
That's how I feel about the Man in the Iron Mask. I'm like, why does this exist? It's so fucking
You know what?
boring.
John Oliver was making fun of that movie this past week on his show, and I like got deeply personally
I've
offended.
never seen the movie.
I love that movie, mostly because I like really, really want to fuck John Malkovich. It like is
Yes, you do.
It is insane how
To-
much I want to fuck John Malkovich.
A very strange level. You really want to fuck him.
Yeah, so I think literally any movie John Malkovich is in, I'm like, this is a perfect movie. Why do we hate Con Air?
Yeah. You do love Con Air.
Con Air is a great
Con
movie.
Air is a great movie. I think that may have been the only thing that you and Trashfire X ever agreed on.
That Con Air is an excellent
I had never
movie.
seen it, and we were living together, and he was visiting, and you were like, I don't give a fuck, we are all watching this movie together right now.
I watched Con Air so many times.
It's such a good movie.
It's such a good movie. Anyways, PBS is important. John Malkovich is hot. Whatever.
Donate some money to PBS. Make that your donation for this week. That's what I'm going to do. Not you specifically, you listener, or you universally you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I'm sure you give enough money.
I want people to tweet at me their like celebrity crush that's like, what? You want to fuck who?
That's a great idea.
I want to know that.
Stella just asked people to at her about something, so
But
I hope...
only that.
But only that. So I hope people take her up on it, because I would also like to see
But
these
for
answers.
real, John Malkovich, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know who mine would
He would be so weird and bad. It would be so fun.
It would be really weird and
Right?
bad.
But like probably really attentive, but also like real freaky.
Have you seen Art School Confidential?
He'd probably just like stare at you.
Yes, he would.
I want to get stared and fucked by John Malkovich.
Oh, God. He's just like intensely looking
Yeah,
in
I
your
would probably
eye.
be terrified, but in like a good way. Also, John Malkovich used to have this weird clothing line. Anyways, this is a wrestling podcast, not a John Malkovich podcast. I really love John Malkovich. We really went off on a weird tangent.
That's okay. I'm excited to see people's answers for this. Okay, what other... Do we have news?
We do have news. The Mae Young Women's Classic has been officially
finally
announced.
happening.
It's July 13th
13th
and 14th.
Which is weird because it's like a Thursday and a Friday.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. I would actually rather it be a Thursday and a Friday. I'm more likely to be able to watch it on a Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, frankly, I don't really have anything to watch on Thursday and Friday because I don't watch TNA anymore.
Yeah, so it kind of is the perfect way for them to round a week out.
Yeah.
To be like,
Well, I guess
here's
ROH is on
stuff
Thursday, but
all the way through. Yeah, but you can watch that on their website for a week,
that's true.
so you can wait.
True.
True.
I love how immediately everyone was like, well, it's weird that you named it, but we're really glad that you named it after Mae Young and not other people. There's a bunch of people that were like, why y'all mad about Moolah? And we are like, just fucking Wikipedia.
Literally Google it.
Literally just Google it.
Right? Like, I appreciate that you want
Don't
to know,
at
but you should just
Google.
Yeah, right? Exactly. At me after you Google.
The only time it is acceptable to at me. When are they gonna announce like all the participants?
I would assume sometime in June, probably.
Ugh,
That's what they
exciting.
did with the cruiserweights. It was like a couple weeks before.
Yeah,
And the UK
in the
tournament
UK.
was the same way.
I like, you know what I do like? The classic makes it sound like it is a recurring thing.
Yes, I completely agree.
Because the Dusty Tag Classic has been a 2-year thing.
The
and
Cruiserweight
like,
Classic will probably happen again this year as well, because they're going to need new people to put in that division. Like,
Yeah.
that's also a good way to drum up interest, and also the Cruiserweight Classic gets really
they
good
used
ratings.
a lot of people from the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah, they did, and that it seems like that's what they're doing with the women, is they just signed all these women already, and so that
Yeah.
they're just like ready to stem them off into wherever they're popular.
I know I'm skipping way ahead. And I like that the Bollywood boys are being used as the Singh brothers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really disappointed. Missed opportunity that during the Punjabi celebration that they didn't do any dancing. They're really good Bollywood dancers.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, to be
I was
honest.
like really upset about it. I was like, where are the fun hand motions, guys? It's your whole thing.
Other than that, I liked the Punjabi celebration.
Speaking of India, Ryback hates India.
Oh my god. Ryback's a fucking idiot.
He hates India and indie wrestling.
Yes.
Ryback hates the letter I.
I guess so. He does not have a good Sesame Street relationship, I bet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I almost choked on my liqueur. Why do we still have to talk about Ryback?
I think it's
Literally disappear forever.
I think it's so fascinating that he's so willing to shit on indie wrestlers when he himself is an indie wrestler now. Like, why would you shit on the market that is paying you? Like, that is so strange to me. These people who go to indie shows and who love this kind of wrestling are the ones literally writing your paycheck
think
right
about
now.
it like that guy that wrote the dive thing. What's his name?
Rip Rogers.
I mean, he's not being hired by WWE anytime soon for things, right? Like, anything
I
that he's
also-
on
I
is
forgot.
probably like an indie show where he's getting $20 for a photo. Like, he should really shut his dumb mouth.
I also forgot that Rip Rogers was Randy Orton's trainer, which is probably why Randy Orton got involved in that fucking mess. Because he's an idiot and doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut.
Oh, Randy.
Oh, Randy. Randy's on
Randy.
vacation.
Stay.
Right? Stay on vacation. My favorite time.
You got a baby. Not a cute one.
I mean,
Who, has Bree showed her baby's face yet?
as the Heels and Heels say, Randy Orton is married to a sea witch. So,
She does look like a
She
sea
does
witch.
look like a sea witch. She totally does.
Nope, no baby face yet. Just that bald baby head.
It's because I bet her baby looks like an alien, and she's like, "This baby isn't cute. What do? I can't put this on my Instagram
I don't
brand."
think she thinks that. I
Well.
think she's like, did you watch a video where she was like crying and I was crying and I was like, Brie Bella.
No.
Whatever. I'm sure she thinks her baby is
No,
very
I
cute.
bet she thinks her baby is beautiful, but from a social media standpoint, not exactly a beautiful baby.
You hate tiny babies.
because they look like raisin gummy bears. They're fucking weird looking. They're aliens. And
Yeah, but I want to see this raisin gummy
infants
bear.
aren't cute. They are not cute. They're not cute until they can like move by themselves, basically.
You know what is cute? Oh, the girl that I nanny, I figured out yesterday that she looks like a cartoon cat, and that's all I can But that was not the seg. I was trying to do a sweet segue, but I just wanted to talk about how she looks like a cartoon cat because it's very funny. Anyways, my segue was gonna be, you know what is cute? Miz in a romper.
I want to see Miz in a romper.
I want to see Miz
so
in a
bad.
romper so much.
I'm picturing a white or like a cream colored romper with light blue triangles on it.
No, stop. You're not
Yes.
allowed to talk about rompers. You have the worst fashion in the world. Miz
don't
is not
care.
going to wear cream and triangles. That's not what Miz is going to wear. He's clearly going to wear a black romper. That's clearly 100% what's going to happen.
I mean, he can wear a black romper, that's fine, but he also wears bright red suits. He does not seem like a black romper man to me. Put him in a candy red romper.
Sure,
I'm ready for that.
but he's not going to wear a patterned romper.
I mean, he could.
He's not going to.
Well, I think he would look nice in a patterned romper.
Paisley romper.
Paisley? Good God, no! Who do you think I am?
I don't know, Erin.
I'm not a 45-year-old lawyer. Fuck that.
Well,
No.
We found out Erin's fashion line. That's the line she won't cross.
Unless it's a dress made out of ties, which I have worn before, which included some paisley ties. I made it myself.
Oh my god.
It was for an anything but clothes party. It was legit. Because it was specifically for a party and I made an entire ball gown out of ties, it was pretty cool.
I guess.
I would not have worn it in public. Do anything except... I know I seem like I'm that person, and I did have a tie skirt I made once, but they were I Love Lucy ties.
Okay, we're moving on. Mojo Rawley and Gronk were in like a weird rap video and they were pouring like soy sauce on each
understand.
other. And you know what? I'm here for it. If they want to be weirdos and they want to be in those videos, and like honestly, good for them, because a lot of people were like, gay. Like,
True.
good for them to be like, we're in this weird video, we're friends, but there was also a girl there, so it was like clearly like, sushi three-way, whatever. But like,
That's
who
fine.
cares? If they want to have
Dudes who
fun,
are willing to do male, female
Yeah.
threesomes, like that in itself is a big deal. Like that's legit. If you as a dude are willing to have an MMF, you're a cool dude. There are lots of dudes who won't do that shit. So just throwing that out there. You should be open to those possibilities. You don't have to fuck the dude. She just wants to. It's cool.
two for the price of one. TNA released their contracts with the Hardys, so it's showing that they own the like broken gimmick or whatever. And then Rebby was like, I saw that, like, breaking, TNA's releasing these things, and I literally was like, ooh, let's do this.
I felt the same way.
Here comes Rebby. Here comes Rebby. I know a lot of people are like, it would probably be best for both of them to stop tweeting. And although intellectually agree, emotionally I'm like, Rebby needs to always tweet.
Rebby's not employed by anybody. She can do whatever she
but like for
wants.
but I'm just meaning for their like case.
Yeah, true. Although at the same time, like, she has told no lies. That's the other thing. And they've really provoked her. That's the other thing. Both Jeff Jarrett and...
Oh my god, what's his name? Fucking Zeb Coulter.
Oh my god.
When he was like, think about your baby. I almost like jumped through the internet.
I know. I'm like, I
just
want to
I actually did write something and then I was like, just delete it.
Just delete it. Can't do it. Nope. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the other thing, is she's smart enough to keep her mouth shut until they say something. Like, this is a major callback to our show. But I bet that's what happened with Kong as well. That, like, Rebby knows how to push people, and she probably just pushed her until it was like, all right, bye-bye.
Again, not that it was okay what Kong did.
No, absolutely not. But, like, Rebby's good at that. She knows how to get people to get angry and do what she wants.
Also, Kenny King got kicked off The Bachelor already. I fully freaked out that he was on The Bachelor, and then he was like the first person to go home.
I know, right? I'm glad my emotional investment in The Bachelor lasted for like 37 seconds and could be done, because that show was fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, fuck that show. But he was like, I'm a wrestler, so I travel a lot, and also I really love my daughter. And she was like, bye.
Yeah, which, I get it. Like, that's not good TV. Which, you would think a professional wrestler would be great TV, but when you actually think about the way that their lives work...
All wrestlers are like... weirdos that are just like, well, and especially if you like are a performer and you're like big and loud, and then you're like, I'm just gonna be like quiet now.
I'm just a person.
Of course, not all wrestlers are LOL are like that, but I'm just saying, as a performer, that makes sense to be like very big in your performance and be like, I'm just gonna read this book.
I'm just a little quiet.
Unless you're Chuck Taylor and you're like, take a video of me just standing here behind this weird shower curtain for 9 minutes.
Chuck Taylor's the best.
Chuck Taylor is the best.
He is definitely the best. We did not post these, but we will at some point. We both went through and redid our top 10 wrestlers from like a year and a half ago. And Chuck Taylor was in my honorable mentions because I was like, I love him and I love seeing him and I'm so excited about him, but his character excites me way more than his wrestling does, even though his wrestling is great. I was like, I gotta throw you in here. Like, I can't just leave you off of this list because you're so good.
Yeah.
I love him. He's
Anyways,
a little bean.
That's the news. That's not a news noise.
That's not a news noise.
But it is now.
It's like a tap dance noise.
It
like
is
we just
our
left with our
noise.
hats on.
Yeah. Did you watch the UK tournament?
The special?
The special, not the
yes,
tournament.
I did. I was like,
Whatever.
I did not watch the tournament, but I did watch the special.
You didn't go back and watch the tournament?
I ran out of time. When would I have time to do that?
I mean, you could still watch it.
Yeah, I could still go back and watch it.
I mean, I could, but I won't.
I would like to. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm interested in seeing, and there's a lot of guys in that tournament that I don't know, which is part of why I wanted to watch it. But I am busy. I've been so busy.
Our podcast is just us being like, ugh, we're so busy.
I know.
It was fun, but it was like pretty low stakes because by the time they showed it, you knew who won.
I already knew
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Although both the Pete Dunne and the Tyler Bate matches were excellent. Like, they were just. Also, I knew who was going to win both, and I was still invested.
When I watched the UK tournament, everyone was like, Trent Seven, and I didn't really connect with him in the UK tournament.
I connect with him now. I get it.
Yeah, I got it now.
I
was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it.
He's so charming, and like having seen him more
there's
in
like a little bit
WWE
more
outside of that
intensity in this one.
So he's very handsome, like very handsome.
I get it, but not my thing.
I totally understand why he's not your thing. I watched it.
He's not John Malkovich.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why you would be into that.
Not John Malkovich
or Sheamus
or Drew McIntyre. So I guess
not interested.
I'm out.
No, I was watching it with Nicole, and she was like, who is this man? He is beautiful. And I was like, that makes sense that we're both attracted to this dude. Like, we have very similar tastes.
He has pretty eyes. I get it.
Yeah. And, like, she was like, I like that he has a belly. And I was like, I also like that
Though
he
has
a belly.
lost some of his belly since the...
Well, they don't have to pay to work out anymore.
Trent Seven, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate have all
All of them.
drastically transformed their bodies.
Yes,
Specifically, I feel like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne.
He's a man now!
Pete Dunne had like a belly and
Yeah.
now no longer has a belly.
I mean, he has a little, compared with
not
other wrestlers.
compared to what he had before.
That's true. Compared with who he was before, but compared with other wrestlers, he definitely has a belly. Like, compared with fucking Tyler Bate, like, yeah, he definitely, or Mandrews, like, it definitely
Well,
has a
Manders
belly.
has zero fat on his body.
Yes, that's true.
That doesn't count.
True, that's true.
Tyler Bate like has like tree trunks for thighs now.
Oh my god. Yes. Fuck you, Randy Orton. I don't ever need to look at your legs again. I have Finn Balor and Tyler Bate, and I am happy with those. That's fine.
And Finn Balor.
And Noam Dar, who has beautiful thighs.
Well, and also
Beautiful.
like those people have good faces, and Randy Orton doesn't have a good face.
No, he doesn't. He does not.
Though I am not sexually attracted to Finn because I think he looks like a sweaty nerd.
Yeah. He always looks like he has a low-grade fever. That's for sure.
Yeah, right? He looks like a little sickly all the time.
I think that's why I'm into it. I'm not gonna lie.
You're like typhoid Erin.
I'm like, I want to hang out with you and build Legos, and we can drink water and have cinnamon toast together.
Drink water. That's so absurd. Oh, man. I don't think I can recover from that. I don't know why I think that's so funny. Oh my god. It was like the slight hesitation you had too. You were like, and drink water? Oh. It's slight hesitations that make things funny. Last night, because I'm like, with my friends, I am, especially like backstage, I am really shady. Like, they'll say something and then I'll just like cut them because like, it's funny, and that's how I like treat my friends. If
That's who you are.
If I'm nice to you, I probably hate you.
I had you explain that to Michael once, like a year and a half
Was
ago.
he like, she's so mean to you?
Yes. He was,
So many people are like, why is she so mean? And it was like,
Yeah.
that's how she shares her love.
yeah, and Michael was like, he was like, I just don't get it. Like, I understand that you and Alexis are have been really long friends for a long time, but like, she's just.
Oh,
she
if
can
you guys
be-
don't know, my real name's Alexis.
Oh, sorry. The Stella. He was like, she's just so mean to you all the time, and I just don't understand how your relationship works, and I feel like she really drags you down sometimes. And I was like, no, you don't get her. If it was bad, I would say something. If it got into like,
But I never.
bad,
Well,
I
also
would say
know
something.
people's like areas.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I never would say anything. Like it's just silly stuff.
Yeah, and when we got into that fight a couple of weeks ago, when we got into a fight, and both of us were like, significant other, read these texts and tell us when we became the asshole, basically. And,
Yeah, we were both wrong.
Yeah, we were both wrong. And he was reading through them, and after that, he was like, oh, okay, I like get what mean Stella is now. I understand what this like, using it as like a currency of emotional intimacy as opposed to like, I'm gonna hit you with a brick. Yeah. I was like, now it's been 5 years and you like finally get it. It's like, see, it takes time.
Yeah, it's funny. Like if I'm nice to you, I probably like don't really care either way. If I'm mean to you, then we're friends. And if I just ignore you, that means that I hate you.
Yes. That's the real line.
That's what's going on, to be honest. No, but like my friend was like backstage is somebody who I like, we banter back and forth a lot. Like we're very shady to each other. But she had told me earlier in that night that she was like having an anxiety attack. And she like didn't feel good. So like we were all talking and she said something and I was gonna say something and I had to check myself. I literally was like, what? And I twitched and just stopped moving for a second. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just had to like rewrite my whole personality in like a second just to like be respectful. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I'm good. And Ray Ray was like, that was weird. And I was like, yeah, but like I can show restraint.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know what the line is. You just choose not
It
to
wasn't
respect
even a very
the line
mean
sometimes.
thing, but I was like, oh, she's in a vulnerable place. Don't be horrible.
Yes. That's true. That's just. You
Also,
just have
if
to learn how to
anybody
navigate
ever
it.
was like, hey, too far, I would have been like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You can take that note. You understand.
I can take a note.
It's true. You can.
What are we talking about? Oh, I did catch up on ROH. It's really good right now.
Yeah, I need to get back into it. I know that it's good. I'm interested
I just finished watching War of the Worlds. The Will Ospreay Jay White match was fucking really good.
Really? I haven't heard that. Okay,
it was
cool.
really good.
Cool.
And like, I like Will Ospreay. I've never really cared about Jay White, but like, it was, they're both like flippy guys or whatever. There was definitely that, but it was also very like hard hitting.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I've got Memorial Day
Memorial Day.
to do things, so I'll have to work that in. That'll be my break.
So I went to NXT Takeover Chicago.
I'm so jealous.
I only cried twice.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. I cried when we walked in the building and then I saw all the... Well, when we walked to our seats and then I saw the NXT stuff and I was like...
That's fine. I get it. I felt that way when I saw them in January last year. When I walked into that shitty-ass theater.
On the grand scale, I was like, yes. And then I cried when Ruby came out and said, Chicago, I'm home. And I was like... Then I went back and rewatched. I watched everything live, obviously, there. And then I went back and rewatched the UK match and the women's match. And it made me so mad when Ruby came out and said, Chicago, I'm home. And then fucking one of the commentary, like, reworked it. Like, oh, yes, an NXT takeover definitely feels like home, doesn't it? And I was like, no. Fuck you guys. Chicago is her home.
Yeah, exactly.
You can say she's from Lafayette, Indiana, but fuck you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I was like...
I was at her indie retirement match. Like, it was in Chicago for a reason.
Yeah.
That was good. I cried when DIY got up onto the ladder at the beginning of their match. It was just such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, it was good.
If they had continued to be a team afterwards, it would have been like, that would have been the shot of DIY going forward.
Yeah.
But now, knowing in hindsight that Tommaso was going to turn on him, it was just like, this is it. This is this moment where everyone will love us together and we can just stand at the top of this ladder, right? And then we're going to break their fucking hearts.
Did you watch NXT, the, like, pre-show stuff?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I didn't watch the show, so I don't know if they did any extra stuff, because I was like, I saw it, I don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
The matches were Aleister Black versus Kurt Hawkins.
Well, I wonder how that went.
It was really fun, and seeing that entrance live is really cool.
Yeah.
And when Kurt Hawkins' music hit, people were like, yes! Like, we want to see this guy get kicked in the face! Yeah. So that was cool. There was the premiere of The Velveteen Dream.
How was that?
The audience was, like, not into it.
Good.
Surprisingly, right?
Shocking.
I don't know. It's just, like, it just feels so tone deaf. Like,
yes.
A, Prince is newly dead.
Yes. B,
you fundamentally just don't understand.
Yeah, don't get it.
Prince, the gimmick.
You don't get it at all.
C, because of that, it seems like you're doing a gay mock. Like, you're making
it's a fob mock.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
But it's not a fob, like, mock in a way that, like Dalton gets it.
Yeah, because his isn't mocking. He's
right.
He just is.
Right. But, like, Dalton as a human, like, as a out of his character is a straight man, but he, like, gets it, and he, like, doesn't feel like he's making fun of it.
Yes, exactly. It just feels like a natural part of the Dalton character.
Where it feels like, it doesn't necessarily feel like Velveteen Dream is making fun of it. It's just like he doesn't get it, so it feels like, it just feels disingenuous.
Right.
Also, I think the way that he's dressing looks way more like a Jimi Hendrix outfit, which really just throws me.
I agree.
Right?
I don't get it. It's like, okay, I understand that you picked purple and velvet because it's Prince looking, but it definitely, the style of his outfit.
Yeah, it looks like a Jimi Hendrix outfit.
It definitely looks like a Jimi. And, like, the headband that he was wearing, I don't know if he's still wearing it, but
yeah. Prince has worn headbands, but, like,
that is not a Prince thing. That is a Jimi Hendrix thing. And if you're wearing, like, bell-bottom sleeved and bell-bottom pants and, like, stylized frilly shirts.
The way that he specifically wears it open, it just looks like a Jimi Hendrix costume.
Which would work better for him because I think that he would get it, but he doesn't understand Prince. Also, like, I know that Patrick Clark as a human is a conservative.
Oh, that's step 5.
Yeah, like, he's a Trump supporter, and he's also very conservative, and so I feel like you can see that he doesn't
a conservative,
get it.
Or was that a gimmick that he was doing, where he was, like, trying to be like, I'm the Trump supporter, everybody hate me?
No, I think that he actually does support him.
Okay, which adds, like, a shittier layer to it. So that, like, the audience was like, either half the audience was like, not here for it, and then the other audience was, like, actively like, boo, fuck you.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad match, it was a squash match, but it was also just like,
yeah.
He was wrestling against a Chicago talent that I did not recognize.
Oh, weird.
Whatever. And then it was Drew McIntyre versus that guy from the tag team that's not engaged to
Blake Murphy.
Yep.
Yes.
We got there.
Yes.
It was a pretty good match.
No, not Blake Murphy. Blake Wesley, Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy is engaged to Alexa.
Yes. So
Wesley Blake!
Wesley Blake, that's what it is!
We did it!
It only took us like 6 tries. We got it! Yay!
It was him versus Wesley Blake.
Okay.
I love anytime Drew McIntyre, whatever, everybody leave me alone. I never watched in the 3MB era, so to me, he will be Drew Galloway forever. Drew McIntyre's entrance, he's just like so broody and his hair flips and then he just like kneels in his fucking jacket. Ugh. He's also very good. He's also very good. That helps. But also like...
But also he's very good looking.
It was funny. My friend Dave was next to me and Drew Galloway's music hit and he goes, this song. And I was like, don't! It's great.
Your eye just twitched.
I know. I was like, I've been in fights. It is a good song. It's called Gallantry. I'm on board.
Stan. You're a stan.
Yeah, but I don't think I... Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a Drew McIntyre stan.
You totally are.
Yep. I guess I am.
It's okay. I understand. It's fine. When EC3 leaves TNA, or Impact, whatever the fuck it is, you'll be a EC3 stan.
Apparently, one of the only good things about TNA right now is that EC3 is full heel again.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm almost willing to watch it.
I know. I like it. I'm like torn to it. And I know that Rosemary's doing really good.
And Sienna's doing really good.
Yeah. And, what's his name? Eli Drake is always good.
Is he still there, though?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched since I wrote that Impact review. It's like a month ago.
Can't do it.
I just, like, don't want to give them money. Like, I want to support those wrestlers, but...
I totally get it. I know.
Also, like, I don't care about James Storm.
Yeah, I don't really either, which sucks.
I can't get myself to care about him anymore.
I know. I just can't either.
I just
like,
can't do it.
He fucked up so bad. It's just so amazing to me that he, like, really misread the NXT TNA situation. Like, you were one of the first people to bail.
And now EY, Rude, Aries, like...
are just running that fucking company, and, like, that could have been you, and you really fucked it up. Like, that sucks. And part of me is like, I'm sorry, your judgment is bad. Like, it like, turns me off to you.
Your judgment is bad.
Like, it turns me off to him as a wrestler, that I'm like, man, you really made a poor call here. You could have done a lot better.
Change is hard.
I know. I get it.
Speaking of an old TNA guy, so the NXT Takeover started with Sanity, EY,
yes.
versus Roderick Strong. I honestly thought it was just going to be like a Ty Dillinger 2.0 with Roddy, but like I guess they've been building him really big, and I liked it. I liked how Sanity came out, they were big and scary, and then Roddy's music hit, and everyone's like, where's fucking Roddy? And he was like, I'm going to beat you at your own game, motherfucker!
Yeah.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people find Roderick Strong, like, boring,
I think
but,
boring.
like, I think he's boring, too, but he is a really good wrestler.
Very good
and
wrestler.
Him and Eric Young together worked a great match.
Yes, they did.
And, like, there was, like, an intensity, and, like, I think whatever there is of Roddy's character, like, this is a moment where I feel like a lot of people are probably like, oh, okay.
I also
he's
feel
really
like
good.
they're doing with him they're giving him the Sammy treatment. You really, really want to like him, and he's an underdog. He's a great underdog. It's easy to see.
But
him.
is he an underdog? Because he just beat EY and beat like 3 people at once.
Yeah, but they had like the campaign
Yeah,
moving up to it,
yeah.
where it's like that made him the underdog, and then when he overcame them, it was like that's his.
I don't think
next
it's going to
move
be an
up.
underdog like forever, like
Right.
Sammy.
But I feel like
that's,
in this moment, that was what they were doing with him, and
Yeah.
like worked very well.
It was a good
It got
match.
me over on him when I
Yeah.
would not have expected that it would have worked.
It
Because
was
I
a
thought the
good
same
match.
thing, that EY was gonna just crush him.
I also just like love Eric Young.
I did too.
He's so committed to this. I just
I just want them to move all of Sanity up and just be done with that. Like, what are you really going to do with him in NXT? They've all figured out their characters. They all have WWE style down. Just move them up and use them. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't know what they're going to do with them. Because they're
Especially
really
since
good.
you've, like, I know they're very different, but since you've broken up the Wyatt family, like, you can
Yeah.
have a stable that's just, like, scary, big, crazy guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Nikki Cross.
And Nikki Cross.
Who is the star of Sanity.
Yeah. Duh.
The star of Sanity. I was just surprised that, like, the booking of this match and how, like, I
Yeah.
know that both of those wrestlers are really good, but, like, I was like, oh, yeah, this was a good match.
Honestly,
It set the tone really well.
the booking of the whole show I found very surprising.
Yeah.
Which, and not in a bad way, really. There wasn't really anything that I was, like, upset about at the end. I felt very conflicted about Asuka's win for a while, and after a couple of days, I was like, I think this is the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
The next match was the UK title.
Oh my
match.
god, it was fucking good.
So again, I watched
What
this.
an amazing
I
match.
watched this at Takeover, and then I went back and watched it on the video, and it was amazing both ways.
It was so good. They did such a fucking great job.
There's like such good character work, and it did the thing that British wrestling, my limited knowledge of it, does, where it kind of like starts slow and does a little, you know, all the technical
really
little stuff, but like it had an insane build, and the moments where like they just knew each other so well, like when Dunn tried to put
chemistry.
Tyler Bates' hand in the steps and he took it out, and it was like, oh, and then like the way that Tyler Bates reversed Pete Dunne's finisher into like a DDT.
Yes,
like, that
it was amazing. It was so
good.
cool. Oh my god, I fucking loved it. I was just like freaking out.
The reversals were great. The storytelling of like super babyface, super bad guy. The crowd loved both of them, but the crowd was like really over for Bruiserweight, and like how they just like knew each other so well, and the reversals of it, and they're like how it was like, so exhausting. I don't know. It was like, it will definitely be a contender, if not like the winner of match of the year for NXT.
Absolutely. It was incredible. It was a great match.
It was just like really fucking solid wrestling, like across the board.
When you rewatched it, did you see when Pete Dunne pinned Tyler Bate and he like leaned in real close and said thank you? I just was like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking cry.
No, I did not see that.
When he pins him, he like leans in and covers his face, and he clearly says thank you, because that's like an old tradition that when you pin a guy, you say thank you, that he's taking a loss for you, and he definitely said thank you, and I was like, I'm gonna
And they're also,
die.
you know what's so great about, they're also like fucking little babies, and they're gonna be around forever, and they're so good. They're so good at this point. I mean, I know that Tyler Bate has been wrestling for like a decade, even though like he's only 20.
Since he was 10?
Yeah, for real though.
What?
Yeah, he's been wrestling for like forever.
That's illegal.
Which is why he's like, well, yeah, but it's like the UK. Like, they're like, whatever, we love wrestling. Our children, we give them beer and have them wrestle.
True. Fact. That's true.
Pub fights for everyone.
Pub fights for everybody.
But it was just like incredible.
Yep, that was great. It was a fucking great match.
Yeah, all of the like, I mean, yeah. I feel like the UK guys, like between like Aleister Black just killing it all over, the UK title scene, like, yeah, bring all the Brits over.
Yeah, seriously.
Except for then I think Lady J and Courtney would be really mad because they'd be like, no progress.
I don't know. I feel like it's the same thing with AAW though, where like guys move up to the monopoly and other guys fill those gaps. Like those promotions will always be there.
True. So the next match was the women's match.
Yes.
I want to know all of your thoughts before you hear my thoughts, because there's a reason why I had to watch it twice.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. I liked that it was very brutal. I liked that they kept Asuka out of the match in the way that I think that triple threat matches don't work a lot of times, where one person's out of the ring taking a Roman nap and there are people in it. I thought they did a really good job of coordinating it, that it didn't feel unnatural, that there were often only two people in the ring. And Ruby and Nikki both looked great. I really enjoyed it right until the end. I didn't like the double pin when I watched it. It made me feel like... I understand now that Ember's injury is not as serious as they originally said it was. When I watched it and they said that it would be up to 6 months that she was going to be out, I was furious. Because that felt like they just shit all over everybody. Yeah. That it's like, we're literally just waiting for Ember to come back. But now knowing that it's only going to be like 6 weeks instead of 6 months and doesn't require the kind of surgery that they thought, I get it. I totally understand that. Also, I realized afterwards, they want her to beat CM Punk's streak. Why would they take the belt off of her when she's like 20 days away from beating his streak? And I think that's also why they're not talking about the fact that she beat Goldberg's streak, because the one that they really want to get past is Punk's. And it's like, don't get injured, don't get beaten, all we have to do is wait a month, and then we never have to talk about CM Punk ever again. And so looking back on that, it makes more sense to me why they did what they did. But it felt shitty, honestly, to watch it in that moment and be like, you pinned both of them? Both of these people who had a legitimate reason you could have lost without being pinned, and you pinned both of these people? It was very surprising, and I did like that at the end it was like, boom, boom, boom. They were like fucking knocking the shit out of each other, and I like that Ruby knocked out Nikki and then got knocked out herself. It feels like that sets up more for the Nikki-Ruby fight, which I definitely want to see more of.
Absolutely.
But now it's just like, oh, okay, we're just in a holding pattern with Asuka. And I love Asuka, and I think she's an excellent champion. But it feels like, man, you could have done anything. You could have done anything here. Yeah. And I get not wanting one Ruby or Nikki to seem stronger because they didn't take the pin, so they both took the pin. I get it. I totally get it. And when Ember beats Asuka, it's gonna feel very gratifying. But it just felt like we had this great build, and it felt like at any moment Asuka could lose, and then it was just like, never mind, fuck you guys. LOL, fuck everybody else, is sort of how I felt. And with a couple days to think about it, I get it, I understand it, and I'm more okay with it. And I don't think that it takes away from how great the match was until literally the last 3 seconds. But it felt weird. It felt like a very weird finish, to be honest.
So the way that I was sitting, I got pulled out of the match really early on.
Really?
The Hurricane Rana that Ruby hit was really nasty.
Yeah.
But the angle that you see when you watch it is like, oh, she kind of like, it was kind of a botch between the two of them.
Yeah.
The angle that I saw it on was she crumpled on her head. And, like, it was really scary. Especially because she is one of my absolute favorites. I was so hyped. I was crying for her. I was so excited that, like, the moment I saw that, and then, like, you can even watch it when you see, like, she's, like, kind of, like, you know, adjusting her head and stuff. Like, I was genuinely so scared for her. And I was like, it's going to be one of those things where, like, she's going to go back and she's going to be hurt. Like, it was just a scary moment. Yeah. So, like, I got pulled out of it, and I couldn't, like, get back in it. And I, like, tried, and I was like, I can't tell if this is good or not. I, like, don't know what's going on. And, like, when it was over, Nick was like, and I was like, yeah, because we both were like, ah. Yeah. It was, like, the angle that we were at was really scary. Yeah. After going back and watching it, I thought it was a really good match. Yeah. Like, I liked the brutality of it. The angle of the Hurricane Rana you can't see quite as much, so it didn't, like, scare me as much. And, like, because I immediately looked on Twitter because I was afraid people were going to be like, not immediately, but after the match, I thought people were going to be like, oh, that fucking match was a mess, blah, blah, blah. And, like, the Twitter reactions were, like, the opposite. Yeah. And I was like, okay, like, it must have just been, like, me in the moment. Right. So when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, no, this was shot really well. Yeah. They played off of each other really well. Seeing everybody's facial expressions up close was a lot more helpful, which is part of the reason I watched the UK match again, which was great live, but I also want to just kind of see, like, the personalness of
personality.
It. Yeah, the personalization of it. Yeah. It was hard for me at first because, like, okay, well, I'm glad that Twitter isn't, like, shitting on all of these women. Yeah. So, like, it must have been a good match. I just got, like, so scared of them. And then, of course, I checked her Twitter and she was fine. And I was like, no injury updates. Okay. Yeah. Like, I was just, like, it just looked really nasty. And I don't, like, it was one of those things I was like, I couldn't tell whose fault it was. And, like, you know, when something goes wrong, you shouldn't be like, well,
it's
you
your
fucked
fault.
up. Yeah, like, shit happens.
But it is helpful to, like, understand why injuries happen.
Right. Yeah. So it was, like, a weird experience because I was so hyped for it, and then I, like, felt like all of my air was deflated. Ooh, but then I went back and watched it, and I really enjoyed the match. Yeah. The next match was Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami.
It was a good match.
I don't fucking know, man. It was weird to watch this match. The crowd was, like, the crowd was, like, fighting itself because people were trying to chant CM Punk, and then the audience, the like, good ones were like, no, boo, but then it set, like, a weird tone. So, like, it was almost like the audience wasn't paying attention because we were, like, fighting each other.
Yeah, it felt very much watching it, like, it felt like people were confused at the end of the Asuka match. Probably because it looked way more brutal in person, that people were sucked out of it. Right. But it was like this really weird injury. It was this really weird energy as soon as that match ended. And then to go into it where there was, like, you could tell that the crowd wasn't in the right place. Well, and also the finish
of the women's match, like, it, not that it was, like, a short match necessarily, but the finish came quick. Yeah. So I think people were like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, like, even if you were at an angle where you didn't see, like, the neck crumple, you probably were like, oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was like a weird energy in the room. And then, you know, Bobby Roode's entrance takes like 800 minutes, which is fun, but it's also like, here's the thing about Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, his character is really good. And he is a solid wrestler, but he's not necessarily a good wrestler. He's not an exciting wrestler.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He is solid. He's a good worker, whatever. He is not an exciting wrestler. Yeah. So I think sometimes, and at least the people around me were like very hyped for the entrances and then like kind of checked out from the match.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's just like a weird vibe by me for this.
Also, Hideo Itami's not a great babyface and turned heel immediately as soon as this match was over. Yeah. So I feel like that was the right decision to make in the end. And like, I feel
it was also weird that it felt weird that he lost.
Yeah, it did.
It felt really weird.
It absolutely feels
and like maybe
Bobby
they
Roode
have
should
like
just
a
move
long
on.
game. Yeah, like I'm sure that they have a long game because they've like they posted that video of him like flipping over tables or whatever. But it just was like, what?
Yeah, it was really weird. I hope that Hideo Itami beats him at the next one and takes it, and then Bobby just moves on because, like before, it doesn't feel like Bobby's doing anything.
But it also just like not even take Bobby Roode out of the equation. What the fuck is Hideo's story now? Like, he comes in hot shit. Everyone loves him. He gets this injury. Finn Balor basically takes his place.
Yeah.
He's out for a long time with his injury. He comes back. People are so hyped for him.
Immediately gets
injured. Austin Aries basically takes his place. And then he comes back and they're building the story. They put together these video packages of like triumphant Hideo and then like LOL fuck you Hideo.
Yeah, it was
so I'm hoping that NXT writers are smart enough, and in the past they've shown that they are to like have a plan. Right. But it was just like, what?
The fact that they immediately turned him heel makes me feel like they do have a plan. Which is smart. He's a much better heel than a babyface. And so I think this is a good way to get him into that
also,
place.
I know that they don't want to talk about CM Punk and stuff, but like, not everybody who watches wrestling are big fucking nerds. I'm a big fucking wrestling nerd, and I didn't know up until like a month ago from you that the GTS is his move.
Right, exactly.
So I feel like there are a lot of people who are just like, oh, this is the CM Punk move. Yeah. Which, like, I know that they don't want to talk about it, but
they
like...
had him address it a little bit to say, like, I invented this.
Mine. But, like, I feel like they should have, like... Even if they don't want to talk about CM Punk, like, I feel like they should have addressed the, like, invention of it. It is my GTS a little bit more. Because I think that could have quelled some stuff. But, again, we were in Chicago and people were assholes.
Yeah, I don't think that would have made anything better in Chicago, to be honest.
I just, like, thought it would be okay because it was NXT crowd. But, like... Because the, like, smaller NXT crowd was good.
Yeah, that's true.
But then, you had the
All-State crowd.
The All-State crowd. And then the final match was the ladder match between the Authors of Pain.
I was really surprised this was last, to be honest.
Well, it made sense afterwards.
Why. It made a lot of sense.
And that's another thing. Everyone was like, what? Why is this now? Like, people around me were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Although it also totally made sense, too, because it's a fucking ladder match.
Well, yeah.
Like, what is gonna follow this? Like, nothing can follow this. So it booking wise also made sense.
Right, and I agree. And that's why I thought, I was like, as soon as they came out, I was like, oh, okay, it's ladders, that makes sense. But then obviously to know the like ending of it, it made a lot of sense. It was like really intense to watch live.
It was a really, really good match. I really fucking liked it. And like I didn't love until the very end, after the turn happened, that they were hanging on to the belts and then fell away from it, and then AOP just won. It felt like almost out of nowhere, because it was like they fell down and then it was like, boom, we got these belts and fuck you guys. And those fucking power slams that they took at the end of those matches were just unbelievable. Like, they looked fucking dead. It was insane. So to watch them fall off of the belt thing, the little triangle, and then get power slammed into each other and power slammed again, it was just like, oh my god, they're dead. Oh my god, they're fucking dead. So that was also part of it, was that the ending almost seemed to come out of nowhere, even though it had this amazing build to it.
It had a good arc. DIY came out on top at first, and then we're losing, and then there was like this amazing rally, and like, oh my god, they're gonna do it, and then they like lost, and then the Ciampa turn. It was just like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also all the like kayfabe stuff they're doing with it on Twitter is like so heartbreaking.
Oh my god, Johnny won't go see a doctor because he's too heartbroken to speak to them.
Tommaso moved out, and Candace is like, we feel betrayed.
I know.
Yeah, that is fucking great.
Good.
That is so good.
They're the perfect people to do this feud too.
For real.
Like, it's so good. And it was like, they weren't tag team partners on the indies. They were individual wrestlers, and they're both very good wrestlers.
Also, like, Ciampa is a great heel.
He's the Sicilian psychopath. He's the perfect heel.
And
he looks terrifying.
Babiest of baby faces. Like, it works.
Baby faces.
It works.
Absolutely.
So you can do this program with them and then like set them up as singles competitors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is clearly what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Awesome. That they are doing the right thing with their storylines, and it is nice to see WWE do the right thing with someone's storyline. It's just so gratifying. I can't imagine how they're gonna fuck this feud up. I'm gonna assume they're gonna fuck it up because WWE really likes to fuck things up, but I don't understand how they will. Like, it seems set for success. I don't know what they could do to fuck it up at this point.
Well, they usually don't fuck up things until it goes to a main roster.
True. That's true.
NXT has a pretty solid, like, they don't have a perfect record, but they have a pretty solid record.
That's true. That's a good point.
The cats have joined us.
So they'll probably make noise.
Meow.
Meow.
Both cats. This one's being very needy.
One of Stella's cats bit me on the neck earlier.
But, like, in a playful way.
Yeah, she climbed on my shoulders like a mountain goat and then snorted in my
She was
ear.
like,
and then she bit me on the neck.
She's very loud.
Yes, it's true.
Raw.
Okay, let's talk about Raw.
Okay, it starts with an in-ring promo from Bray being all Bray.
I skipped the whole thing.
I thought it was one of his better ones recently.
I've just been so tired of the opening segment because I don't watch it live and I have to watch it the next day and I have to kind of like compress everything.
That's true.
I skip all of the entrances and if it was Cena, I would have skipped that too. It's that same kind of thing where it's like,
Well, I always skip Cena talking.
yeah, if it had been Roman, I would have skipped him too. It's just like, I get it. I know what your character is. I appreciate that you're doing good mic work. I can't sit through this.
Yeah.
It was 9.5 minutes long.
Was it that long?
Yes. It was longer than, and I know you're not going to believe this because it felt like an eternity. It was longer than the Luke Harper-Eric Rowan match.
I didn't feel like that felt like an eternity.
I did.
To be honest, I was falling asleep during it because I was tired. Not because of the payback. Because I was actually very tired.
Okay.
Because I, like, worked all day.
But his opening promo on Raw was longer than that. And I was just like, nope. Fast forwarding through the whole thing.
Nope.
Can't do
it was Bray Wyatt, followed by Roman Reigns coming out to say some shit.
I did
Followed by Angle coming out and being like,
Bray
y'all need
say,
to fight.
hello, Roman, my old friend. And I was like, ah, yeah. Beginning of super creepy Bray was that Roman series.
The whole episode, I was like, Bray Wyatt, are you clocking Nikki Cross's gig? Because he was doing stuff that, like, and I know they're very,
Yeah.
But he was, like, biting the ropes and being, like, extra, like, laughy.
Yeah.
And I was
it
like,
felt very Nikki Cross meets Broken Matt Hardy equals Bray Wyatt. That's sort of the vibe that I get from him.
Yeah.
Which I'm cool with, I guess. God damn it! Imogen jumped in my back like a mountain goat again.
she loves you. Oh, she's gonna give you bites and kisses? She's pulling your hair?
She's eating my hair.
She does love hair.
Whatever. What are you doing?
She's trying to give you a kiss. She really wants your attention. You bad girl. You bad girl, Emmy.
It's like, but I want attention.
So then Roman and Bray fight, and then Joe comes out because he was like, hey, Bray Wyatt, you sister Abigail'd me, you bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
So he takes them both out, and then while Joe is fighting with Roman, Seth comes out.
Yeah.
And so there's like a disqualification and blah, blah, blah. And then Angle is like, you guys, tag team match.
Main event.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing with this 5-way. I think it's smart. It's very often they just throw them all together and are like, see this same fucking multi-person tag match a billion goddamn times until Extreme Rules. It does feel like they're trying to give us variety within these
Right,
five
and
guys.
they're like, you have these different relationships with each other.
Right.
And like,
we're going to
exploiting
highlight
that.
them and we're going to exploit them in some ways. I like what they're doing.
In the backstage segment where Angle set the tag team, the Drifter drifted on by, and then Angle is like,
How did they get me over on the Drifter?
I know,
don't get it!
well, I've always liked how big his arms are.
When I saw him live in person at that NXT show, I got it because they were letting him be funny, and I feel like they've really connected to that. I had a conversation with somebody earlier this week about, I feel like Kurt Angle is the right GM for the Drifter. Mick Foley could not have done this with him.
Right.
It just would not have worked.
Angle was like kind of annoyed, but also like, I'll guess I'll give you a shot.
Yeah. And
But he was like, you've been drifting about. How about you drift into the ring?
And it feels like,
And I like how the Drifter was just like,
the Drifter has the same kind of funny that, and they're not the same, but he has the same kind of funny that Kurt Angle had, where it's like, you can take him seriously, but his personality is just inherently silly in a lot of ways, and it feels like Kurt Angle can embrace that, and I think that they have finally started, like, the fact that the Drifter sang this song that was quote-unquote serious at the beginning of his match, but it wasn't really, and it, like, worked for that. I feel like
Also,
they're leaning in on it.
the fact that Angle was like, you're going to fight Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose. And like, they took this match seriously.
Yes,
Drifter
they did.
Looked really good.
He did look really good. And I like that they creatively had him win that match
Right.
as well. Even though Joe had just done that to Roman like 40 minutes before. But it did feel like it was a good way to reintegrate that. And I thought they did a good
and it
job with
also
that.
continued continued the build on Miz and Dean.
Yes, exactly.
And it was
in
like,
a
it was
way.
a funny moment where like Miz like tipped his hat at the Drifter and was like, I gotcha. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Drifter looked really strong.
It was a creative way to have the Drifter win his first match as well, which I
without
appreciated.
burying Dean.
Yes, exactly, which would have been inappropriate.
Yeah, but it like made him look good. He held his own against Dean and then
Yes.
technically won the match.
Right, exactly.
So I thought that was great.
I like that the Drifter with the longer hair sort of looks like just a like 2.0 version of Tony Nese.
Yeah.
Which works. It's fine. It's not like strange.
I don't know. Drifter is better though.
Yeah.
Not as a wrestler, just like as a concept. Because Tony Nese has no concept.
Other than I love my very rounded bicep muscles. That's like
creepy, like round bicep muscles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There was a backstage segment with Sasha and Noam and Alicia, which was fucking great.
I love this storyline.
I love
think
that
it's
Sasha.
great.
I feel like Sasha, in a very different way, but a similar like intergender way, like Sasha and Noam are having like a Becky James Ellsworth.
I
big
totally
boy
agree.
And like I'm
here for it.
If you're afraid of intergender matches, but you like kind of want to do it, what is better than doing the women with the cruiserweights? Like that makes sense.
I totally agree. And like,
And I love that she like stepped up to him and he was like, oh, I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Yeah, she's like, that's what I fucking thought, you bitch.
That was great.
I like that. I like the two of them together. I and like I said before, I like Sasha out of the title picture right now.
And I like Sasha and Fox's like lower mid women's feud. Like
I agree.
It keeps them in the picture. It's keeping Noam in the picture because he's not really fighting totally. He's like meddling. He's meddling.
He's
right
meddling
now, and
but he doesn't have his own feud anymore because he's
and it also
like a couple
I like
in grad school. They were like, "Your turn now."
Yeah, no, for real. But like,
yeah, no, I mean that seriously.
It's really great.
Yeah, I agree.
Sasha won this match, so
yeah,
the rubber match.
Even Steven, that's okay. That's fine.
Well, they're not even Stevens. 2-1.
Oh, is it? When did she beat her before?
Sasha beat her the first time. Then Noam pulled some strings to get his girl a match. And then Alicia won.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when everyone was like, she what?
Oh, okay.
And then Sasha won.
Okay.
This could be a very solid, like, pre-show match type deal.
This feels appropriate for a pre-show match, too. Not because either of them aren't good enough to be on a main card, but because it's a smaller build.
Agreed. There was a backstage segment where Enzo was attacked.
It's Cass, right? It's gotta be Cass.
It's gotta be Cass,
It's
right?
gotta be Cass. I can't imagine it's anyone else. Like, they've never won the tag team titles before. There's no reason to keep them together.
But they're also doing that in NXT right now. So, like, it feels maybe it's not Cass.
Who's doing it in NXT? Who turned on who? Oh, other than Tim. That's different, though.
I know it's different, but I like, you know.
It's so different that I didn't even register that you were talking about that.
It just would seem a little like, it's different, but it's
Is
not.
it, though?
And
I
also,
feel like
Goldust just turned on R-Truth.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, I almost feel like there is more to be done with Enzo and Cass as separate wrestlers and then bring them back together in 5 years to actually win the title. It'll feel so much more meaningful than them continuing to be a tag team now. But I get why they want them to be a tag team, whatever.
Oh, no, it was definitely, like, Titus.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's, like, a good build for them.
It was definitely, Apollo or Titus.
That's fine, I guess. I like Apollo in this, like, weird, I don't know, I guess I'm a bad guy. I guess I'm just doing it for the opportunity. Like, I'm into it. Titus has so much character, and Apollo has no character. But so, like, put them together.
Titus doesn't have really any wrestling, and Apollo has so much wrestling.
Titus is an okay wrestler. He's good
He's
low,
good at his, like,
mid-card.
3 moves. Apollo is, like, a good wrestler.
Yes, true. That's true. That is a good point.
So, there's that. Mm-hmm. There was a Goldust video package, which was it was like it was just like perfect classic Goldust. And honestly, loved it. It honestly felt like this is the beginning of the end for me.
Yes,
I'm gonna go back to my roots. I'm gonna take care of some business. I'm gonna give you guys what you want, and then in about a year, I'm gonna dip out.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it feels like. I'm so glad that he decided not to retire like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
when he and Stardust had that terrible match at I think it was Backlash, Payback, one of those.
It was one of those.
It was one of those. They
were a great tag team.
They
and,
were
did not wrestle well against each other.
No, they were terrible at wrestling each other, and that match ended so poorly. And then Goldust was just going to retire after
so many
that.
Of the same moves. It was weird. So,
and they couldn't decide who was calling it, and it was just like, oh my god, Stardust, just let Goldust call it. He's the senior here. Just let him do it. It's woof.
But I mean, Stardust is a better wrestler, so I could see him being like, but I want to call it I'm better.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And they're brothers. I can understand how that would be hard.
Yeah, they're brothers, so they're probably like, no, fuck you. No, fuck you.
Yeah. But I agree. I feel like this is the beginning of the real end for Goldust, and I'm here for it. I'm glad. Yeah. This is like the right way to send him out too. Also, like, give him awesome. Give him this feud with R-Truth. That's fine. Like, I'm into that. They'll have good low card matches. That's what they need.
Yeah. Hardy Boys versus, it was Matt versus Cesaro, or Sheamus.
Yes.
But I just wrote Hardy Boys versus Euro Babes, so I could say Euro Babes again.
Euro Babes!
I mean, they're in a holding pattern until Extreme Rules.
Right, exactly.
But
this
was a match to see who could...
The stipulation,
and they're going to be in a cage match at Extreme Rules.
It's going to be dope. I'm so here for it. I like that Matt Hardy, sort of doing the broken voice, is like, we're challenging you to a steel cage match. And then afterwards they panned out, and he just looks at Jeff and went, we're good, we got it. And they just tap their titles together. I was like, that's adorable. What a great little moment you guys just had.
They're brothers. They love each other.
They love Jeff Hardy, another person I'm glad didn't retire because he stuck around for his first brother. Yeah. And, worked. It's working.
Agreed. There was a Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss match.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And honestly, last week I was like, where the fuck is Mickie?
I thought the same thing. When she came out, I don't remember what it was for. It was a couple weeks ago. She came out and I was like, oh yeah, this bitch is on this show. Just
but
totally
it was for
forgot.
the Alexa Bliss, I'm the goddess of the universe.
Yes. So it's like, oh yeah, you exist.
Yeah. I appreciate Mickie's presence right now, and I like that she's kind of turned face, and her and Bailey are a weird team. Alexa went off and beat up Mickie with a kendo stick and left a big mark, just like she left a big mark on Becky or on Bailey.
She hit Mickie James so hard.
She had a welt.
Yeah, it was. They slowed it down and watching her whole body.
If we ever start Patreon, if we hit a certain,
when we start a Patreon,
when we hit a certain level, our stretch goal is just going to be we get to hit each other with kendo sticks.
Yes, here for it. I'm actually
really into it.
Oh, absolutely. One level, chops. Next level up from that, kendo sticks.
I am really good at chops.
That's fine. I can take it.
Yeah, I'm just warning you now. I'm actually very good at them.
That's okay. I think I've never actually chopped anybody, so I don't know how I would be at
I've only done it a couple times, but
I'll take a chop.
For the one of the wrestling burlesque shows, one of the people was like, I'm going to come up to you and I want you to chop me. And I was like, I asked him, I was like, can I really chop you? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. It was dope. It was the best feeling. I was like, chops are the best,
right?
Let me chop everyone. Nick won't let me chop him.
Yeah, fair. Michael won't let me chop him either.
So
bitches,
yeah, little fucking babies. But we're like, yes, let's chop each other.
Fucking chop each other.
Kendo sticks, chops.
We're here. If you donate enough money to our theoretical Patreon, we'll have a fucking backyard wrestling match. I don't know.
Probably not.
That would be a lot.
But we
of money.
could put each other into we could learn some submissions.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, now this is me putting Erin in a figure four.
You want to give us $150 a month? We could probably figure some stuff out.
Yeah, we know enough people who know how to wrestle.
Yeah.
We'll have Eddie Van Glam come in and teach us how to do some submissions on each other.
Yes, absolutely. Bobby can teach us how to take a couple of easy back bumps. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
we'll
be great. We'll just, all of our weird theater friends be like, okay. Teach us how to.
We could probably put on a legit match for 5 minutes.
It would be absolutely 100% choreographed, but we could do it.
Absolutely, it would have to be. We would be Triple H and The Rock in that moment where it's every single second is planned. We would have to do that, but it would be dope.
I am Triple H.
Are you?
I don't know. I feel like
neither
of us is more Triple H, and neither of us is more The Rock.
I agree with that. I
don't identify with either of them.
I don't know who either of us would be, to be honest.
I feel like I would be offended by both answers.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe you would be The Rock because you're more the heel.
And got a big dick. Just kidding.
Yeah, also you have a big dick.
I don't know. I assume The Rock has a big dick.
I don't know. He does a lot of steroids.
That's true.
So, I don't know.
Had a big dick.
Had a big
Genetically
dick.
was supposed to have a big
That
dick.
probably has like a normal dick. Yeah, that's fine.
I have an acceptable dick.
Sure, okay. Yes, absolutely. What were we talking about?
Raw, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, Alexa and Mickey.
Yeah, it was great. I also didn't really...
I want Bailey to lose her shit in the kendo stick match.
I want her
just want her to like
lose-
snap and
Yes.
pull her ponytail out and be like, ah!
Yes, I want her to get the most extreme, and then I want her to lose. I think that she needs to lose. I think
Most extreme.
I think it's important for Alexa to make Bailey come out of her shell and then still beat her. I feel like that's really important for the characters that they're building for both of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, like, I didn't realize that sometimes on a pole match, you get the thing and then the match continues. Because sometimes WWE does
Well, yeah,
on a
that's
pole
the point.
stuff.
It's
Not always. Sometimes
No, but for this one, like,
Right.
you have to get up to the kendo stick.
Yeah.
And then there's only, I assume there's going to be only one kendo stick, so it's going to be like, whoever gets the kendo stick gets to beat the shit out of the other one.
Yeah,
with
but then
kendo
the other
stick.
one still is allowed to use it.
If they get it away from
If they
you.
can get it away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I find that a little more confusing, but it does make me like the concept of the match better.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, at least it doesn't just end. And also, I love watching Alexa beat the shit out of people with kendo
She's
sticks.
so little.
She's so good at it. She looks
5
such,
foot of
such a
fury.
bitch. I love it. It's so good.
Oh, and then the final was the tag match. It was fine. I liked how the backstage when Finn was like, "Next week, don't leave me out."
I thought that was great. I thought that was very good. They're
Oh,
acknowledging.
Finn had a promo with Heyman. I was like, Finn did something.
I don't give a shit.
And then Finn beat up Carl Anderson, and I was like, I know this is like a
I was
wet dream
very
for a lot of
emotionally
people.
invested in
Yeah,
that
I was
match.
like, I know this is a wet dream for a lot of people, but I'm just gonna dick around on my phone right now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that match. I liked it a
So
lot.
I dicked around on my phone during that match.
Yeah, I get it.
Just gonna be honest.
I totally understand. They're well matched and like they know each other super well, and it was very emotional
They're
as
best
a
friends.
as a New Japan fan to be like, oh my god, this is happening.
guys.
Beans.
Do
Yeah,
you call Finn a bean?
they're both beans. They're little beans.
I don't think they are little beans.
I mean, they're not Sammy, but they're little beans.
They're little beans.
They're beans. Yeah, I
thought Raw was pretty solid this week,
Yeah,
actually.
it was solid. I was gonna say, I think that
The
it was
build
really
is slow, but there.
They're acknowledging on commentary that part of what they're doing is booking for ratings, and so I thought it was very smart at the end during that 10 o'clock block when some people just like in there like we're throwing everything at the wall in these last 15 minutes because it runs over, and so people who are watching the next show come in and watch it, and so you can always tell it's 10 o'clock because they always say we're on Monday Night Raw and it's the main event with blah 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 blah. That's always the 10 o'clock mark because they want to announce it to people. So I thought it was very smart for them to be like,
It is weird
Finn?
that they get 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's very strange.
What a strange timeline.
I know, it's very bizarre. So I thought it was smart to have Finn and Kurt Angle both in those times. Because
Right.
usually they use them earlier and then never again. And so it was like, both of these people, we like both of them. Here are both of these people saying, next week, we're going to be doing this thing. And it was nice too to see.
And I like that it was like there was consequences to losing. It was
Yes.
like, you will fight the winners of this match. Not all of them.
Right.
Those two can get, they'll clearly fight each other because it's like, we were friends, but then I don't need your help. No, I don't need your help. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't need your help.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I thought
Shield.
that they and I like that Kurt Angle too was like, I'm a great GM. And I was like, you are a great GM.
You know what, Kurt?
It's
You
true.
don't suck.
It's damn true.
I said that yesterday about something. I said it's true, it's damn true, and then I like laughed to myself, and Nick was like, "What?" And I was like,
God damn it.
I was like, "I'm just making wrestling jokes." He was like, "I watch wrestling." I was like, "Kinda." I force you to watch wrestling,
There are times
and
where
you are a good sport about it.
There are times where I will ask Michael a question about like an independent wrestler, and he'll just look at me and go, "Erin, you know more about that than I do." And it's every time I'm like, "You're right, I do."
Nick will sometimes be like, "Oh, did you hear about Seth Rollins or something?" Or like, it's like a big news story, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, did you hear about that?" And I'm like, "Obviously, I heard about it."
Duh.
I
Absolutely.
obviously heard about it, but also thank you for telling me.
Right.
I appreciate
I
that you
appreciate-
know that I would like
This
to know
isn't-
about this.
The currency of intimacy, where
Right.
It's like, you know that I care very deeply about this, and so you are making an effort to bond with me over this, even though I already know this.
I've decided in our Raw recaps that we're not going to talk about the cruiserweight things that happen on Raw, unless they're like really important, because they literally just do different versions of them on 205 Live, and we don't need to talk about them twice.
Yeah, agreed.
That being said, I thought 205 Live was like okay this week. I feel like it
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember watching a single moment of it. I
Brian
was
Kendrick-
very stoned
Brian Kendrick
and tired.
started it off with a fire promo. I don't like Brian Kendrick.
I don't even remember it all.
But
I might as well have not watched this.
Brian Kendrick's opening promo was really good.
All right.
And I even had a moment where I was like, I don't like this guy. This is really good.
Yeah. I mean, he's good. He's good at what he does.
Daivari had a match with Swan where they were basically like...
I must have fallen asleep. I don't remember
Really?
this at all. Yeah, like, straight up don't remember any of this.
Well, Rich Swan won.
Okay.
You know, last week is when the, like, package exploded in his face. So Rich Swan, and then Noam came out and, like, took out Rich.
Okay.
And then was like, nah, fuck you. My hair looks weird right now.
Why?
Noam's hair looks so weird
It's
right now.
so strange. Like, just brush it back. Just push it out of your eyes.
Cedric is back.
Oh, he is? Oh, yeah, I must have fallen asleep. I don't remember this at all.
Unfortunately, the crowd did not, like, super pop for him. So, like, that sucks. But it is exciting that he's back because I feel like he can get the crowd back.
Yeah. I love him.
He fought Johnny Boone, which is hilarious because John Morrison just made a movie called Boone.
Yeah.
And his name is John, and it was just a lot for me.
Okay.
I was like, I feel Inception right now.
All right.
Look at Imogen. She's like staring at me. Oh, she's being really creepy. Drew Gulak had like a video package where it was like a campaign commercial.
I saw stills of that later and was like, what was this?
It was just like a campaign commercial about like making 205 Live great.
I love him so much. Did you
He's
see
doing
that?
a good job.
Did you see that thread about him being Gerald from The Office, whose wife Linda left him?
Yes, it is a brilliant thread.
I was just like, the consistency in this storytelling in this thread about Gerald from The Office, who like loses his mind and then accidentally saves someone from killing themselves, like, is so good. It is so good. I don't remember the guy who made its name. I retweeted it on my Twitter. It's so fucking good.
It's really, really funny.
I love it. I will continue to check back on this story because I enjoyed it so much.
I know. I wish there was a way you could like subscribe to a thread so you would know when it was updated. You just have to like follow the person, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, no, fuck you guys. It ended, so the street fight between Tozawa and Brian Kendrick was like half of the episode. It was very long.
Okay.
It was a really good match. It ended the feud. Tozawa won. There was like a crazy senton off of the ring post outside of the ring onto Brian Kendrick. It was great. It just also felt like it was a really good match, but it was also like this feud has gone on for so long.
Yeah, it's time to be done.
Yeah, it like almost took the wind out of its own thing. Like, like by itself, good match.
Yes.
As a whole, we're still doing this, even though we're like ending it. But like, I don't know.
No, I agree.
But it was a really good match.
For a couple of weeks.
Yes,
to be
I
honest.
agree. But it was a good match.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel kind of bad that Brian Kendrick lost. He had such a good promo, though.
But he had to.
I know.
Move on to somebody else, Brian Kendrick, and teach them lessons. They'll be like, didn't you just lose this thing? And you'll be like, bitch, let me teach you some lessons!
Yeah, what is Brian Kendrick's thing gonna be now?
Bitter older dude? That's kind of always been his thing, right?
That's fair.
So he can just keep doing that. And Tozawa can move on to other people. Michael and I keep doing that to each other from across our apartment, where I'll hear him doing it, and then we'll just start calling out Tozawa's chant to each other, and then just start laughing hysterically for no reason.
I thought you were going to be like, and then we just fuck like crazy.
I wish.
That is our weird new mating call.
That would be hilarious.
Payback!
Payback. How did you feel about Payback?
Okay, so I watched it in chunks. So
okay, that was the right way to do
I
it.
had stuff to do that night. I got my tattoo touched up and like whatever. So then like, and then our friends were having a bonfire. So I like went to that for a little bit. But then I came inside in the middle of AJ and Kevin. Well, actually really near the beginning. So I watched AJ and Kevin, which I thought was a really good match.
Yeah,
and
it was
I
really good.
loved the finish.
I liked it too. I thought it was weird, but I was like, okay, whatever.
But it was
also,
it was weird, but it was like actually pretty creative.
It felt very creative, yeah.
And like AJ's struggle felt real.
Yeah, it did.
And it was a way to keep Kevin with the belt and like let like AJ technically lost, but like still had a really good match, and like he's not gonna have to go, and especially because it's Money in the Bank season, he doesn't have to go back towards the United States belt. He's gonna be focused on Money in the Bank.
Exactly, right.
So like it felt like really smart booking.
It was very smart,
and
booking.
It was like a really good match.
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed it. They have great chemistry.
They do.
I love it.
And then there was Harper Rowan, which like I fell asleep during.
It felt like a 25-minute match, and it was only 9 minutes. It felt like it was never going to end, which sucks. Like, I don't know that they can salvage Eric Rowan. I
don't think they can salvage Eric Rowan.
I don't think they can, which sucks, because I feel like this is
now I feel like he's bringing down Luke.
Yeah, he totally
Luke was having a push, and people were getting over on him, and like
this is bad. This was a step back.
I feel like they like need to release Eric Rowan.
Yeah, I do too. Which sucks
because
I feel like
of the company.
This is the best work that Eric Rowan has been doing.
Agreed.
And the like backstage stuff and the weird masks and the bag. Like he was on the pre-show and had the bag of masks and was being a super creep. Like that stuff is great, but they need to like permanently put them apart. I don't ever need to see Luke and Eric fight ever again.
Right.
Braun Strowman, Luke Harper. Make him completely outside of it. Just be done with it. He's no longer part of the Wyatt family. He's had a complete transition. He's gone. Leave him alone.
Yeah, they should take Luke Harper off of TV for a little bit and like kind of do a repackage. Like not like Braun Strowman, but like Braun Strowman.
Right, yeah. I think that's the right momentum to do with him because like Braun Strowman, like he could have a very successful singles run because he's a very good wrestler, especially for his size. And like, I just don't ever need to see him fight Eric Rowan again. Ever. And, like, you can put Eric Rowan with other people. Have Eric Rowan and fucking Apollo Crews wrestle each other. Like, I don't understand. Wait, no. Apollo's on Raw now. Damn it. Damn it. Okay, just release him. Get rid of him.
Just fucking get rid of him.
I'm fucking done with that.
I know. I feel that feels, like, fucked up to say, but, like, also, like, sorry.
He would be better in the indies. I would look forward
also,
to seeing
neither
him.
of them had anything to do on SmackDown the next day or the next, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I watched Randy and Jinder.
We also skipped the first match, which was Nakamura and...
No, I'm talking about how I watched it.
Oh, okay.
I came in and watched AJ and Kevin and Harper and Rowan
we're
and
missing
Randy
something
and
here.
Jinder. Well, we've missed a bunch, but like
Yeah,
that's
wait
the
a
order
minute.
I watched.
Okay.
So that's the order we're talking about it.
Okay. Someone took notes, and that means they get to dictate the order that we talk about things.
Oh, the person who's prepared gets to be in charge? Yes.
LOL, it was a joke.
Fucking better be.
Do you want to get chopped? Do you want to do this right now?
Just here, like, slapping on the podcast. What did you think of this match?
It was fine. It was a fine match.
I feel like I don't care about this match. I care about the win.
I completely agree. I did not give a shit about the match.
This is really shitty, and I feel bad talking about it, but Nick pointed it out, and I couldn't stop looking at it. And then I went on Twitter, and a bunch of other people were looking at it. I was fully 100% focused on Jinder Mahal's, like, body acne.
Yeah, he gets really bad back acne.
And then, like, when he hits, like, it, like, is gross. And also, like, that's, like, a super telltale sign of steroids.
Yeah, it is.
It's
yes,
clear
it
that
is.
they're like, we know Jinder, but also we need you because of India.
Yeah. I didn't realize it's only been 9 months. Yeah.
That's not how bodies work.
Unhealthy. That's crazy.
Jinder, sacrifice your body for us.
Right? Like, I'm sorry.
Vince McMahon probably was like, I will give you the belt if you take these steroids.
Right? No, Jinder probably just did it and then got jacked, and Vince McMahon was like, oh, yes, yes!
Ew. Gross.
It's true! It's damn true!
The best part of that was all of the people's reactions in the crowd.
I fucking loved seeing all these white dudes be like, what? I
mean, there were a couple non-white dudes, but it was mostly white dudes.
It was mostly white dudes. I did love that the first people they showed were those two people in the front row. There was that blonde woman who was delighted. She just started laughing hysterically when he won, and I was like, me! That's what I did!
Me!
I loved that. I thought it was great. And it did feel shocking, which is weird because, like, I expected it. I thought he was going to win. It felt very much like they were building towards that, and it felt appropriate. But it's Randy, and I thought that was great.
It felt like that storyline-wise is the right thing to do, but because it's WWE,
of course,
and it's Randy, you think, oh, of course not.
LOL, fuck
also,
you.
Also, I hate that we always have to say the word Randy.
Randy was my uncle's name.
Randy is a terrible name.
I know, it's a terrible name.
Randy.
I know.
I never want to say the word Randy again.
Just call him Randall.
No.
That's the villain's name in Monsters, Inc. I just watched it the other day. That's why I remember that.
Great. Who cares? Honestly,
villainous name.
Honestly, don't talk about Disney on this podcast.
That's a Pixar, and they were not affiliated at the time that movie was made.
Talk about either of them on this podcast.
Someone will post on Reddit at minute 97 on this podcast. They talked about this Pixar movie, and we'll be like, get out! Get out!
Don't. I can't. That's with Disney.
Adult Disney fans.
I know that there are some that listen to this podcast, and I'm not trying to be shitty. I have like a personal problem because of things.
Because of the past.
Because of the Mormons.
If you're a Mormon and an adult Disney fan and you listen to this podcast, well, fuck you, buddy.
But also, please leave a 5-star review.
And then stop listening. Yeah, I love the ginger one. I loved the Punjabi celebration, too. I was shocked nobody interrupted it, to be honest. I really thought Randy was going to come
Again, very disappointed in the Bollywood boys. But also happy they're alive.
Happy they're alive. Oh, my God. Randy's face when he threw the second one.
That gif is going to be one of the most used wrestling gifs of all time.
It was like a moment of like, did I kill that dude? I don't know. Oops. It was weird because it was like, do you feel remorse? I don't know that you do feel remorse.
Whoops.
Yeah, it felt very much like, whoops-a-daisy. I'm like, oh, that's not the right reaction.
Man, can you imagine?
That bump was sick looking.
Ugh.
Ugh. Can I imagine what? I'm sorry.
Just imagine that. Ugh. On your head like that. So the pre-show match was Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger.
It was fun.
I am all in on Aiden English.
He had fucking Starry Night tights on, and I almost died.
It's funny because, like, when I started watching NXT, he was part of the Vaudevillains. And then, like, I've gone back and watched some of the takeovers where he was the, like, show stealer or whatever. So I am not unfamiliar with this character, but I am just, like, so, like, enthralled by his level of commitment.
He's so good at it.
He's so good at it.
He's so good at it. Okay, fun fact about Aiden English. I started watching NXT because Michael suggested that I would like him because he was doing the...
So, like, you like theater.
Well, that's exactly what it was. He was like, I think that you would appreciate... Because I was still, like, learning the ins and outs of wrestling and coming back into it as a fan and, like, figuring out the psychology of it as an adult and, like, learning how to watch it as an adult. And he was like, I think that you'll enjoy this character because you're not an actor anymore. Like, you've taken that step back from acting, and so you can appreciate why this dude is a douchebag, and also he's good at it. So when he started being part of the Vaudevillains, I was so disappointed because I really, really liked it. I mean, I literally started watching because of this gimmick.
Right.
And then, like, 4 weeks later, he became a vaudevillain. And so now, getting back to this, I love it. Also, something about him being this actor character, when he was paired with Simon Gotch and was a vaudevillain, for some reason, they just look smaller than everybody else. And when he's by himself and next to Ty Dillinger, who's enormous, you can see that he's, like, totally a contender. He's a big dude. He wrestles well. He's got a very strong grasp on his character. And he's super committed to it. And I'm, like, all in. I love it. I love both of them. I'm really glad Ty won. I think it was the right move for this booking for both of their characters. But, like, good. Let them have a feud. I love it. I want to see them wrestle more. They were great. It was so fun. It was a great pre-show match.
Yeah, I agree. The first match was Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler.
Turns out, not even Shinsuke Nakamura can get me excited about Dolph Ziggler.
You know what I was most disappointed about? Nick was really excited about Nakamura.
Yeah,
and
so
he
was
had
Nicole.
never seen him wrestle
Same.
and
Nicole
was
had never
like
seen him either.
very excited about him. And I was like, oh, this will be good. We'll get to watch him kill
Yeah.
Dolph. Love what it just like didn't. It was just really flat.
It was really flat.
Nick afterwards was like, "Can I say something?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was not good."
Yeah, that's how I felt with
But
Nicole.
I felt bad because now I feel like some of the like now like Nick is less invested, which like I feel like other people who
Yeah.
are casual watchers are gonna feel that way.
Right, exactly. And I thought it was a smart move to have him be in the Money in the Bank. I feel like he has a very legitimate shot of winning Money in the Bank. Like, the idea of someone who has an accent and who has this, like, really affected way of speaking and moving with the Money in the Bank briefcase could be very interesting, and I think it's an interesting thing to add into his particular character. But at the same time, like, I think it was smart to just throw him into this match just to get him out of this and be like, all right,
Yeah.
now we know he's crazy and he's weird and he does all these things and he raises his arms and does
and
shit.
he's weird.
And, like, just throw him in and let him do that. I think that that's a good idea. But I feel like it almost backfired on them in some ways because Dolph was so good on the mic in the promos building up to this and then just felt very Dolph in his wrestling. Like, yeah, Dolph can sell and Dolph is great when he gives a shit and, like, he obviously cared about this, but, like, I think Dolph just is done. Like, in a lot of ways, Dolph has said that in a lot of interviews where it's like, I have this goal, I'm gonna be done in 3 years, I'm gonna do comedy, that's what I really want, and, like, I feel like it really shows in this. Like, you can't even have a enthralling match with Shinsuke Nakamura, like, that's not good. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
And, like, I think it's good to have him as one of the 6 in the Money in the Bank because that's the right role for him. He is very good at ladder matches, but I don't need him to be the central focus of what I'm watching. Like, he and Luke Harper had that great fucking ladder match.
A really
and, like,
good ladder match.
Right,
Like,
and I feel like
surprisingly good ladder match.
and I feel like Dolph needs that crutch in some ways where he needs something
He
extra
needs
to bring it
something
in.
to make people invested.
Right, exactly. It can't just be. And I also think Heels and Heels pointed this out too. It felt inevitable the entire match that Shinsuke was going to
Well,
win.
yeah, and I think that was definitely part of the problem because
Right.
it was like you guys literally built. He was the
I
like.
thought it was going to
face
be
of-
the main event. I was
Yeah.
shocked that it was first. It felt very strange. And so I'm glad that we're done and we just moved past it. But, like, it's really disappointing as somebody who fucking loves Shinsuke Nakamura to be like, man, I didn't even
I
care
did
about
like
this.
all of the like AJ and Nakamura like buddy stuff.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Seeing
It was
them
cute.
tag up
They're
together
like
was
we're
like,
friends.
oh my god.
Well, yeah, because the beginning of SmackDown was the Money in the Bank kickoff,
Yeah.
essentially. So it was Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Naka, AJ, and Ziggler, and then KO comes out and was like,
Bitch, I should be in this match.
Shane, put me in this match. And Shane was like, okay.
All right.
okay.
It's
Sure,
usually
whatever.
6 people anyway. I guess it's fine.
Okay. The next match on Payback was Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. And Sami
fine.
Zayn won!
I know. I was shocked. More
And then
shocking.
Sami Zayn won the next night in like a 3-second roll-up.
So fast. I was legit shocked. There were
Sammy's getting
There were-
W's.
3 matches on the SmackDown on the Tuesday. That it was that one when Sammy rolled up Baron super quick, and then both of the Fashion Police wins like boom,
The first
boom.
ones.
Well,
Because there was 3 matches in total.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
Yeah.
singles matches when they both rolled them up, it was just there are very few times
When you love a quick roll-up.
when I love a quick roll up, but also there are very few times when a quick roll up feels appropriate
But
and
both of those
well-placed.
quick roll-ups were followed by something else.
Yes, exactly.
Sammy
It's followed
rolled
by
up.
beatdown,
Yeah, really sick beatdown.
which
yeah.
worked for both of their characters. It
Whereas
was
for Corbin,
really
shitty,
smart.
like, I'm a big guy, I deserve things, give me that briefcase. And Sammy's like, underdog, like, I can win.
I will earn this. Yes.
And, like, you're so mad that the only way you can take me out is to, like, blindside me.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. It was really good writing for SmackDown.
The next match on Payback was the Usos versus the Fashion Police.
You mean the best match of the entire night?
Tyler Breeze is just a gift.
He is a gift to all of us. It's amazing. There were so
And that's
many...
the thing. We've all known that Tyler Breeze had amazing matches on NXT. And then
He
he
was
just
there
got...
for so long.
I love that, like, out of the ashes and through the mop, here comes Tyler Breeze. He was so funny. Like, Tyler Breeze's character in NXT and, like, the Prince Pretty always walked a fine line of, like, you know, it's a very gimmicky gimmick.
Yes.
It could be really funny, but it could also be serious.
Yes.
But it was a different kind of funny. Whereas like the Tyler Breeze Prince Pretty as part of Breezango is like, if you had to pick one, like Fandango's the straight guy and Breeze is the like really silly guy.
Yeah.
Like it works really well and he's really good at it.
Yeah, he is
and he's
really
a
good
good
at it.
fucking wrestler.
Yes, exactly. It feels like they can...
All that mop shit was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god. The whole thing was good. Watching him as Grandma Breeze, it was just... I fucking loved it. I also, like, props to Byron Saxton, who was the only one to connect that and be like, Grandma Breeze, we need to call him Grandma Breeze. Like, let's get on this. Let's identify that we understand that this is Tyler and he's playing this very specific character that we can then refer to later. And the other guys were just like, la 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 la.
Well, JBL was like, I don't know who it is.
It
I'm
was just
fooled by wigs.
That's true. His made sense. Whereas Tom Phillips, it was like, Tom, okay, come on. Byron already gave you this name. Like, get on it. He just kept saying, like, Breezango as a grandma. Like, put these words together.
Put these words together. Yeah, well, they lost, which everyone was really sad about.
But it felt appropriate in a lot of ways,
right.
too. It wasn't just like they did a comedy match and
they
then they got
looked
crushed.
good. Well, it started off as a comedy match, and it definitely had comedic moments throughout, but, like, it turned into a real match.
Yes, exactly. And so it felt like when the Usos won by, like, sneaking one out on Breezango, it feels appropriate now that they'll have another match after this. Or they did have another match after this. Like, it felt like the appropriate setup for this.
Yeah, I agree. And then the next night on SmackDown, they had the 2 quick roll-ups. The Fashion Police won both.
I was so surprised.
And then they had a title match that was really good, but the Usos came out on top.
Yes.
I want them to continue this feud for a little bit.
They're going to. It certainly feels that way. New Day is not coming back yet because Kofi's still injured. So.
But they are kind of back.
Yeah, which is smart.
Because they came back on Talking Smack.
Right, and I think that's the
and
right way to
Xavier
do it.
Woods, I guess, had a baby.
What?
Yeah, he was like, I had a baby. They were like, what have you been doing with your time off? And Biggie was like, I married some people. And Kofi was like, I hung out with my kids. And Xavier was like, I had a baby.
I like how he just like disappeared real quick to get married. And everyone was like, where did Xavier go? And then now he's like, hi, I have a family. I've built this from the ground while no one was watching.
Basically.
Oh, man. Maybe that's also why they... I don't know why they would do this, but it also feels like maybe that's why they let it go with the Page tape. Like, if his wife is mega pregnant when that shit comes out, it's also easy to be like, let's just back way up from this.
Also, like, who cares?
Also, who cares? But, like,
yeah.
That definitely feels like a thing where it'd be like, I already have my life rearranged. Like, yes, you guys don't have to talk to me about this. Yes, exactly.
And then it was the Welcoming Committee versus the Babyface Women.
This match wasn't great. It was weird. It was... I
didn't think it was bad.
I didn't think it was bad.
It was just too much of now it's your turn and 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 now it's your turn.
Short for anyone to really get moving.
It felt too short to see any like build of wrestling because it was just like now it's Charlotte's turn, now it's Natty's turn, now absolutely. It's Carmella's turn, whatever.
And also, why did Natty tap out Becky? I don't understand. Like,
because she's the leader of the Welcoming Committee, so she had to look strong, I guess.
Okay.
But I mean,
I understand it couldn't be Charlotte, and I understand it couldn't be Naomi, but at the same time, like, why did Becky have to tap? It was just so weird. It felt like such a strange booking decision.
Yeah, well, on the following night, they had a 2-on-2, and Becky tapped out Carmella.
Yeah.
So, like, Becky tapped, but then Becky won.
Yeah, true.
So.
And they're also building to a women's Money in the Bank match, which is...
Hopefully. It has not been announced, so, like...
WWE's putting out strong enough, like, very similar to the women's tournament rumors, where it's like, we're gonna wink, nod, acknowledge this, but we're not.
Well, yeah, they have a number 1 contendership match next week.
Right. And so it feels like coming off of this will probably be...
Yeah, it feels like something's going to go wonky in the number 1 contendership match, and then it's going to turn into a Money in the Bank match.
Right, exactly. Which I'm fine with. Or someone will actually win the contenders match, and then they'll be out of the Money in the Bank match, which would also be fine. Because we have 4 weeks to set up for this.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's part of it too, is that we'll probably have a women's singles match, because why would you waste Naomi? Like... She's got to do something. Yeah. So someone has to be in a match with her. So I feel like there will be a number 1 contender, but then off of that, there'll be a scuffle.
But is there, I guess if they let Lana in the Money in the Bank match, No, because if you do Naomi versus somebody, let's just say right now Naomi versus Charlotte, right?
It's gonna be Charlotte.
And then in the Money in the Bank match, you have Natty, Carmella, Becky, Tamina. Mm-hmm. You need another woman.
That's true.
And they're teasing Lana. There was another Lana promo, so that's actually a really great way to bring up Lana.
That's true.
But at the same time, Lana probably is not prepared enough to be in a ladder match. So
true. Although climbing a ladder doesn't mean wrestling moves. Like there are ways to get around not being a super great wrestler in a match like that. I think that Lana could benefit from if she doesn't fucking kill anyone with a ladder. That big butt there. Big reservation there that Lana can competently handle a ladder in a way that she's not gonna murder anybody.
Yeah, but I feel like you don't want to not have Charlotte or Naomi in a ladder match.
Right, that's true. Charlotte would be dope in a fucking ladder match. But at the same time, like, they do need somebody to beat the number one contender in a way that, like, Charlotte feels appropriate. But at the same time, I don't...
Carmella's been getting sneaky wins.
That's true.
So you could do Naomi Carmella.
That's true.
Because Carmella is probably the one that you're, like, least like, maybe not put you in a ladder match right now.
That's true.
And then put the other women in. And the least experience.
Yeah.
So theoretically, they could bring up somebody else.
Yeah. I
mean, or you could just have 4 people
win and have her face Naomi. Like, they also have this history where they could build off of that until Money in the Bank as well.
Yeah.
So, like, I could see that as well.
I guess they have, like, a lot that they could work with. Yeah. So we'll see.
There's a lot of exciting stuff.
So, as far as Talking Smack goes, New Day came back on the one after SmackDown. But fucking Kevin Owens murdered Talking Smack after Payback fucking dead.
I did not see it.
He came on. He was, like, the last guest. And it was Renee and Peter Rosenberg. Is that his name? Mm-hmm. And Kevin Owens was just such a dick to him. At one point, Kevin took his notepad and wrote, "Kevin Owens is the best," and was like, "Read this." It was just fucking great. Kevin Owens is just the best. I love him so much. And I know that's such, like, a smarky whatever thing to say, but fucking Kevin Owens rules.
Yeah, he is. And, like, it just makes so much sense that Kevin Owens would be on a show that then has something like Talking Smack after it. Like, you don't have to use him as a wrestler every week, but you can let him talk whenever you fucking want, and he will murder it.
Yeah.
Like, same with New Day. You don't even need them to wrestle. You just put them on Talking Smack, and people are like, I am here for this. I watched the old New Day and Rock promo from WrestleMania 31, I think.
Yeah.
And it was just like, God, I miss heel New Day. I miss them so badly. Like, they were so good. I want them to fight everyone's children. I know they say that all the time, but God, I really fucking miss heel New Day. They were just so good at it.
They sell so much merch as faces.
I know.
Should we get to some questions?
Yes, we should.
Oh, I have a Marry Fuck Kill.
Oh, I have one too. Okay, what's yours?
Aleister Black, Drew McIntyre, and Tyler Bate.
Ooh, marry Tyler Bate. I'm sorry, but kill Drew Galloway and fuck Aleister Black.
No, I would kill Tyler Bate. He's only 20. Kill him. Just murder him.
Yeah, but I can make him into my submissive husband, and he'll, like, do the dishes for me.
I don't think you're gonna make him into your submissive husband. I would kill Tyler Bate, and I would marry Drew Galloway, and would fuck Aleister Black.
All right, well, we're at least in agreement about one thing.
Okay, question.
Okay. Oh, lady pay-per-view. We had this question last week about what our totally lady pay-per-view would look like, and this is we
definitely worked on this together.
We definitely worked on this together. I'm gonna read it because I took notes in my phone while we worked on this together. All right, so my lady pay-per-view that I sculpted, first match
that I sculpted, that I architectured. That's what Ivanka says. She architectures her life. She uses architecture as a verb. She's architecting her life.
Why does she photograph like she has microcephaly? I don't understand. Her head looks so fucking small. It's like this weird long giraffe neck.
So much of her skin and bones shaved off so she doesn't look like her father.
I don't... I'm going to throw a little lady shade, which I will not normally do in this. I don't understand why people find her attractive. I think she looks like a weird turtle. She kind of looks like a Lady Mitch McConnell to me, and I just, like, can't move past it. I just don't get it. Okay, so opening up Lady Pay-Per-View. Opening match. One-on-one singles competition. Nia Jax versus Viper.
Oh, yeah. We went Definitely we went outside of just WWE.
Yeah, I picked all of the women.
We picked all of the women.
We picked all of the women that we could think of. All right, next match in a 2-on-1, Nikki Cross versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Following that, Nikki Bella versus Brie Bella in a no disqualification match because I want to watch them beat the shit out of each other, and I want Nikki to yell, "I wish you had died in the womb" at Brie. And
Again.
I will love every moment of it. Okay, for the European title, which I'm bringing back because I fucking like the European title, Carrie Hojo versus Becky Lynch because they will destroy each other and it would be fucking amazing. Intercontinental title, Asuka versus Io. I don't actually know how to say Io. Yeah, Asuka versus Io for the Intercontinental title. I think so too. Hardcore title, also bringing that one back. 24-hour defense rule, also totally down with that one. Candice LeRae versus Eva Lise, and I want them to bleed everywhere. I want them to have fucking carry buckets from the ceiling worth of blood in this match. I feel like they can do it. They together.
Candice can for sure do it.
Candice can for sure do it, and I feel like Eva Lise could just be like, "Here's my barbed wire bat. I will rip you in half." Like, I trust her to do whatever. Tag team championships. Taya and Kimberly as a team versus Ruby Riott and Jessica Havoc.
That's weird, but I'm on board.
Right? I feel like it's a super weird combination of people, but I like all of them in a way that I think, like, I've seen Taya and Jessica Havoc wrestle each other, and they have very good chemistry. I wouldn't want to necessarily see them on a pay-per-view do a singles match together, so I think it would be interesting to add in Ruby and Kimber as well, who also have that history.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting to see all of them work together.
Also Havoc for life.
And in a championship that we both definitely made up together.
This one I actually made up.
This is true.
This is my contribution.
We did come up with this one together. In a Underworld Championship, Crazy Mary Dobson versus Rosemary. And it would be amazing. Maybe there would be a resurrection. I don't know. I don't even care.
Mini coffins.
There's going to be a river. There's going to be some sticks. I'm into it. It would be great.
Sticks tied together, because sticks tied together are scary.
Yes.
Shout out Elcons.
In a ladder match for the World Championship, Naomi, Charlotte, Alexa, Bayley, and Sasha. I want a women's ladder match so badly. So badly. I feel like both the kendo stick on a pole match and also women's Money in the Bank match is the right step in the direction for this. Kendo stick felt like a soft step. Money in the Bank feels like, yeah, bitch, we're having a ladder match. And at some point, I feel like we're going to wind up with a women's championship ladder match. And that's really what I want. We're breaking down barriers here. Every week, it feels like they're pushing the barriers with these women. And, that is the next step for me. And then finally, in our final match.
I also contributed to this one.
This is true. Rebby Hardy versus Stephanie McMahon in a steel cage match.
For control of the company.
Yes! Yes! And that is our women's pay-per-view. Book it, put all these women together. I'm fucking here for it.
Okay, so
all right.
Our first question is from Chicago C. Rose. If Chicagoland Indie could book anyone who primarily wrestles overseas, who would be your dream to see?
I would really like to see Pete Dunne. I wasn't there for the Chicago takeover, and that's not somebody that I will see ever, basically. So I'm down for that. I would love to see Pete Dunne in person.
I've seen Naito wrestle before, but I want to see him wrestle alive again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to go to some ROH shows, and I know he's not always at ROH, but I just want to see him kick his belt around and be a dick. Yeah. Everyone loves Naito, but I loved seeing him live first, and I would like to see him live again.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good answer.
That was my gut instinct.
That was a good instinct. I agree with that.
Ooh, but I would also really, really love to see Io Shirai live.
Yes.
She's badass.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
We were talking about duper badass.
How
and technically Taya primarily wrestles in a different country. I know that's not overseas, but I've never seen Taya wrestle live, and I would love to see Taya wrestle live. I know she's come to Chicago a couple times, but I haven't been able to see her, so I would love to see Taya wrestle.
Yeah, I've seen her twice, and both of them were fucking amazing. She's a great wrestler. I really like her a lot. Okay, next one. Alexander Slamilton. are singlets basically rompers for wrestlers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely, they're like festival rompers. They're your fancy romper because they cut low enough that you can see your nipples sometimes. So, you know, you can only wear those to certain occasions, but definitely.
But def.
Def.
Dan Pierce, Dan is the Yeti, said, who are your first favorite wrestlers?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Stone Cold Steve Austin and China.
Yeah. Stone Cold's up there for sure.
I
And
like
Rock
those,
also as
those
a kid.
are the ones that I like grew up loving, adoring, and like really being invested in.
Yeah, Rock was like that when I was a kid.
See, even as a kid, I was like, whatever. The Rock.
I liked his wrestling, but didn't really understand
Also,
the psychology of it.
As a kid, I also really liked Jericho. There was a lot of colorful lights.
Yeah, I also really liked Jericho as a kid as well. As like an
But,
adult who really got back into wrestling, I mean, I have a Macho Man tattoo, and there's a reason. It's because he is the reason that I'm back in wrestling.
When I first started getting back into wrestling, man, I don't know. I mean, I really gravitated towards the women in NXT.
Yeah.
That's what really pulled me back in.
I get that. That totally makes sense.
I mean, obviously.
Amazing.
Who should, this is from Alex Rodriguez at ARod034. Who should Jinder face at SummerSlam if he wins at Money in the Bank?
I don't know. I guess Rusev. Why?
Yeah,
they
absolutely, Rusev.
They said that Rusev wanted a title shot at Money in the Bank, and then they just announced that they were gonna have this rematch at Money in the Bank. So that's a little weird. I hope they find something to do with Rusev.
That's a good answer.
So I honestly hope it's Rusev. I feel like he's a good opponent for Jinder also, and could win off of Jinder, but doesn't. But if he lost to him, it wouldn't feel super bizarre either. I would be totally down for either that.
This one is from Big Dave Barista. That's so funny. At Loveless LP. Do y'all think changing UK title to SmackDown Cruiserweight title is a good idea? Is this an idea that's being floated around?
I don't know. I had not heard this. My phone totally just went from 14% to 0%, so you'll have to handle the rest of the questions.
I haven't heard this rumor, if it's a rumor.
They're not all cruiserweights, so I wouldn't want it to be
I don't know if the question is it's changing to a cruiserweight or it's just filling the slot of cruiserweights.
Okay.
If it's just filling the slot of cruiserweights and we get the UK guys on SmackDown every week.
Yeah.
I would like it if they were on SmackDown every week and we didn't get an additional show.
Yes, agreed.
Because for some reason, having 205 Live and the cruiserweights on Raw, it's just it makes it feel less important.
Yeah, it does.
If it was just one or the other, it would feel more important to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I would say
there's also just less time on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. I don't know that I necessarily want to add it into
true.
this mix because they're already very efficiently using their time on
That's
SmackDown.
true.
So I don't know that I would want to add it because where would we put it on the show to actually be able if you want to treat this like a double length episode of NXT where we only have 4 matches, I'm totally here for that. That does not seem like something that SmackDown would ever actually do though, because they just have too many people on their roster, and that's just not the way the main roster writes. If they were willing to go to a model like that, I think that they could use the UK Championship sparingly by only having a match once every couple of weeks and not taking up all the time. But if it's something
But then how do you build stories?
Right, exactly. So if it's something that you want to have regularly and want to build stories on, you really need more time than that. So I don't know. I like the idea of it, but I don't trust WWE to be able to write that into a 2-hour show every week, especially a 2-hour show that is 2 hours. It doesn't run over in the way that Raw does. You don't really have any extra time. You get 120 minutes with commercials that you have to figure out how to work around. So I don't know that they could do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but I don't think that it would work.
This one is from Rockford Guy.
Yes.
What do you all think was the best match out of all the ones that happened during Takeover and Backlash? I mean, I think the UK
I think it was the UK one for sure.
That one took it for sure. The storytelling in the ladder match was great, but just as a wrestling match, top to bottom, with storytelling, with everything, the UK fight was just fucking good.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was just really fucking good.
Yeah, it was.
This one is from Shark Resort, who is also the one that asked us about the women's pay-per-view.
Yes.
Pick random wrestlers for each other, then describe how you'd most effectively seduce/impress them on a date.
I don't know how to seduce wrestlers. Don't we know this already?
Yeah, this is Erin talking to Cole Cabana. Hi. And then she walks away, and then he's like, why'd you walk away? I didn't have any cash So,
It was true.
but I wanted to talk to you. Okay.
Listen, very bad anxiety.
Okay, this is you and Tommaso Ciampa. Really good match. Thank you.
This is awkward.
Now we're just standing here next to each other.
Listen, the line wasn't moving. Clearly, we both wanted to be done with this interaction. I mean, I could say Sheamus, but I know the answer is take him to space and introduce him to some vampires.
I'm sorry. He was not a part of the space
Oh, that's
train.
right. That was Roman. I'm sorry.
And also Drew Galloway was there watching for some reason. Whatever. I haven't had a really weird wrestling sex dream in a while, so.
Well, you're probably gonna tonight.
I fucking wish. I think the last one I had was with Aleister Black, and that was like months ago. Oh, it's so disappointing. Sheamus is the one where we like kidnapped people and put them in their house and then fucked in their house.
Yeah, that's right. I pick Sheamus, and that's the answer.
Yeah.
You go on like a bank robbing spree together.
Yeah,
and then
me
I'm
and
like, we're
Sheamus-
not fucking this house.
I meet Sheamus and then I say, do you want to become a modern day Bonnie and Clyde? And he's
yes.
like, yes.
Yes.
And then I say, can you wear the kilt? And he's like, duh.
Duh. Hello. What else would I wear?
This is how Erin goes on a date with Cole Cabana. Oh, I pulled cash this time.
Yes. You are correct.
Do you want to do your Mary Fuck Kill or do you want to save it for next week?
No, it's relevant for this week. Marry, fuck, kill. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Candice LeRae.
Kill Johnny Gargano, marry Candice LeRae, fuck Tommaso Ciampa. That's like the easiest.
All right, that's fine. I think I would agree with that as well, to be honest.
Marry Candice LeRae, duh.
Yeah.
She's the best. And
Johnny would be
but
a
you
good
know what?
spouse as well.
Actually, Candice is really into Disney.
Ooh, no. Goodbye.
But she's a really
Marry
good baker.
Tommaso Ciampa. Fuck
Like
Candice
Candice,
LeRae.
kill
Kill Johnny,
Johnny.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like Johnny would be a good spouse because he's very
He's
supportive.
also into Disney, though.
He's supportive of her Disney.
No, he's also genuinely into Disney.
Okay, yeah, goodbye. I can't. No. I'm fine.
I think Tommaso likes Disney in the way that he's like, my two friends are really into Disney.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I need to think. Please, nobody ruin this for me.
Do not ruin this for us.
You can like Disney. I just like...
Yeah. Don't be that person. That's all.
Just don't blog about it.
If you're gonna blog about it, don't be an insufferable asshole about it.
We're clearly talking about a very specific
Very
person.
specific person.
Anyways, like Disney, live your life. Follow us on the internet. I'm at Stella_Cheeks.
I'm at Urgency.
You can find us at nowyourdemographic.tumblr.com.
You can send us some emails at notyourdemo@gmail.com.
You can find us on cageseats.com, and you should also find us on iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. If you're in another country and have done that, I'm not sure that we can see them because it seems like we might be having a little wonkadonk with it.
Yeah. I know you have to like change your settings in order to be able to see that. But
I'm going to change my settings. I will figure it out. Canadian reviewers, I will find your reviews.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it, right?
I think that's it, yeah. Demmies.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's a long ass episode.
Yeah.
Okay, now laugh.
I'm sorry, you put me on the spot.
Let me tell you something that will get you a loud, incredulous answer.
Okay, I'm ready.
Dolph Ziggler wants to go on a date with you. Yeah, right? That's gross.
Yeah, that's gross.
Safeway gas rewards are better than ever with more places to redeem your points. Just shop at Safeway to earn gas reward points and redeem at participating Sunoco or Safeway stations. Earn gas reward points and use your club card to get beef, porterhouse, or T-bone steak just $4.99 a pound. And seedless watermelon, $4.99 each. Safeway, it's just better. Maximum gas reward is $1 per gallon at participating Dover, Rehoboth Beach, Wilmington, Newark, and Easton Sunoco stations. And $1 per gallon at participating Safeway stations in a single fill-up up to 25 gallons. Other restrictions and exclusions apply. See complete details at Safeway.com.
The bugs were cleaned off. I cleaned the bugs off.
I got a brand new jacket.
I checked the weather forecast.
We packed our rain gear.
But I never made it out of the driveway.
I Googled Sturgis.
Getting ready for a motorcycle ride? Save $10 on Duracell Ultra AGM motorcycle batteries and Batteries Plus bulbs.
I even got a new tattoo.
What?
For store locations, offer details, and limitations, visit batteriesplus.com.